Lord have mercy. Welcome back to the Snake Pit. This is episode 245. Don't worry about the backdrop. This is for another podcast that you probably will watch too. It's the Lawn Chair Sports Podcast. So a little behind the scenes for you. But I'm going to use this opportunity to say thank you to our sponsors for today. We actually have two now. The first one being Izzy Money Vintage. I've talked about him a lot in previous ads and throughout the podcast that we've done. You can now visit his shop at... Sorry, a little unprofessional. You can visit his shop. It's at 2400 Glenna Goodacre Boulevard, Suite R104. That is where Izzy Money's physical store is at. So if you want to go and visit him, I highly encourage that. Because it is a really cool spot. There's a tattoo parlor in there. It's a great way to support two local dudes and a few other people in there. His store hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 3 and then 4 to 7 p.m., closing at 6 o'clock on Saturdays. You can also DM him or text him at 806-777-9061 for an appointment after hours or on the off days. And again, I say please be courteous. And, you can't just hit him up 30 minutes expecting him to go out of his busy way. He's a new father. Come on now. So shout out to Izzy Money Vintage. He's got great tech stuff, great cowboy things, and great vintage apparel. A lot of the things that I wear are from Mr. Izzy Money Vintage. You can visit him. So do that, please. And then we also have a new sponsor today. So shout out to, let me pull that one up, Heart Enterprises. If you're from Lubbock, you've seen the Heart. Mom, are you in here? If you're from Lubbock, you've seen the little Heart air conditioners and billboards across town. He also does plumbing, heating, air conditioning, drain cleaning, and you can visit heartenterpriseslubbock.com. What he really wants to talk about, Mr. Brian Hart, is the new mini splits. So if you've seen buildings with these little air conditioners inside, that is what he does. You can get one of those installed. We're thinking about doing that here at the Snake Pit. I've actually seen it at the Meat Locker in Post, Texas. So they're mini splits for cooling and heating up to 600 square feet, starting off at $1,650 installed for less electrical. So it's really cool, and it's another local man. This time, they operate around the 806 area. You can contact Mr. Brian Hart at 806-544-9668 and Brian at heartenterpriseslubbock.com. You can also contact Mr. Chris Hernandez at 806-781-5097. That's Chris at KBEXCAVATION.com to contact these boys and get you a nice new mini split to cool off your office, cool off your new podcast studio, your room, your business, whatever. It's a great way to support local again, and it's hot as fuck out here, so get you a new mini split today. And also you can shop Izzy Money Vintage. So shout out to these two fellas. Thank you for supporting the podcast, and I hope you guys give them your business as well. So today's episode is episode 245 with two very special guests. I love the boys, Dave Clayton and Mr. Kristopher Chase. It's a very fun one. We talk about aliens. We talk about conspiracies. Mind you, we did record this one about a month ago, so the congressional hearings about UFOs was just that day. And then, as we mentioned in the podcast, June Jam was June 30th, 2023, which we were all at. That's when we saw a UFO. They did. I happened to miss it. Biggest regret in my life. One of them, anyways. So we get into that. We get into the state of Lubbock. Great time. Lots of booze. It's fun. But it's a great podcast, so check it out. Thanks for listening. And I also have patreon.com/snakepitstudios, where we do Conversation Pit once a week. That's $1. It's another way to support the podcast. We listen to music. We talk about the music, and we just kind of recap the week. And now we're looking for guests, so anybody can come on this. So if you want to bring, 2 or 3 songs different from what we listen to, or maybe it's the same, we don't know, come on, come talk. And you can subscribe right now at patreon.com/SnakePitStudios. I will have bucket hats this week, so if you want to support the podcast. And I have a few more shirts. So thank you guys, and hope you enjoy the episode. And check out our sponsors, Heart Enterprises and Easy Money Vintage. Thanks.
You can put the headphones on over it. It'd still look dope. It's a shallow hat.
Let me start off by saying that this is their second time trying this podcast out.
Take two.
It was a little weird, almost like that everything was fucking up the first time ever at the Snake Pit once we start talking about aliens. But we have Dave here and Chase, all of who were in the same area as me, but they seen the UFOs and I didn't fucking see them. I'm still pissed off about this.
Dude.
Now we get two perspectives. Let's get it. Let's talk about it.
Yes, we saw this together. Finally. But yeah, like it was June Jam. You were I think I'm a little high.
Is this too loud?
Yeah, I think I'm a little high. Are you
Number 3.
Yeah, I think I'm maxing out.
Just turn his headphones on over there, the other knobs.
3. You want to go up?
I want to go down a little.
Down.
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, now I can't hear. Like, turn it back up.
Keep going. Say something.
Yeah.
What-
Go up a little more.
What
A
you
little
saying?
more. Little more.
Saying. Keep going. Keep talking.
No. Back. Just. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Out there.
I'll just.
Spicy.
Me? We're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Pro-
New equipment.
Yes.
Pro 2. Shout out.
But, yeah, let's talk about it. June 23rd.
Yeah, it was June 23rd. We were doing June Jam. You were emceeing the event,
Yes, I was.
and Chase was working
Selling tickets.
selling
Wristbands.
tickets, selling wristbandy. Yeah, I was like watching the clouds and stuff because it was a crazy hailstorm, baseball-sized hail. There was a lot of back and forth on whether or not we were even going to continue the event because the weather was so extreme. And I was like, nah, we're gonna wait this bitch out.
Dude, it was weird. I rode my motorcycle up there, and I wanted to get there early to set up, and I went home and showered because I'd been stinky, and then just this freak hailstorm just comes through, beats the shit out of the house. I was on the other side of the house or town, and I just stood in my driveway and watched cars and the entire neighborhood just get completely pelted with hail out of nowhere. By the way, the warning for the hail literally was sent out during the hail.
Yeah,
no, there was no National Weather
I don't even
Service.
remember a warning.
Dude.
And we were under a tornado warning too.
Dude.
It was
Holy
like
shit.
the weather was crazy.
The cloud formations, everything, that whole day was just
Good?
crazy.
It popped off and then it went away.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Went away real quick.
Like less than 5 minutes. It just literally like right around like 6:40. It just went away.
And hailstorms and thunderstorms are linked to UFO activity, by the way.
That's
too.
what I was about to bring up. I didn't
that's
even think about
weird. I
this.
didn't even think about that either.
It was
That's wild.
huge hail in some areas
Yeah.
of Lubbock, and
Do
it
you
came
think,
down.
Do you think it fucked with its cloaking technology, or it kind of, just something sporadic like that?
I don't even think
Screwing
that
up navigation
It was
or-
it was the most mundane thing I think I've ever seen. I felt nothing when I was looking up in the sky.
Dude.
I looked up at
That's
it
the
and I was just
creepier
like,
part,
that was the
'cause
creepier
it
part. I
didn't
was
do
looking
anything.
at and it didn't do anything to me. I literally was looking at it and I was like, all right, well, that's a UFO. And then I was like, and I sat there and I just watched it for a minute and I was like, oh shit, I better like get somebody else so that they can see it. And I went and I grabbed you and I was
God
like,
damn it.
dude,
Yeah.
you got to see this, man.
All I remember
And I told
was
him
seeing
immediately,
you guys
grab your
looking.
phone.
I seen you
Dude.
guys looking in the sky, and I didn't even look. I was
Yes.
just like,
Holy
what the
shit.
fuck are they doing?
It's just, unless you were looking up at that moment,
Unless
you
you
would
could
have never
see-
noticed it ever.
Like, yeah. And it's like,
So-
I mean, like we have like predator vision, you know? So like if something's not moving, like our eyes, it's just not going to pick it up, you know?
And so we have the video up here. We'll have it. This one, is cool, but you have another video that I want Jen to show that creeps me the fuck out.
On the 30.
I think it was
What's
on
the 31st?
Is that the one just like staying in?
Oh yeah,
like,
that's Steve-O.
No,
Shout out
it's
to
not this
Steve-O.
one,
Steven Perez.
It's the one on.
He's the one that sent that.
It's that one right there. That one. This
That's
one.
my boy.
This is the weirdest one to me.
Yeah.
And so this is all within a week of each other in about 100 miles.
Yeah. He's like, it's a balloon.
Within 100 miles of each other. This is Hale County Wind Farms.
Yeah, Hill County is like probably like not even 20 minutes away.
And
Yeah.
I don't know why this one creeps me out the most.
Woo, because it's just chilling. It's
Yeah.
watching those. What is it doing? Who knows?
It's not a balloon because balloons don't just sit still.
Yeah, and then here's the one that was on the 26th.
So this is Big Springs.
And dude, this guy was
15
really
minutes
cool.
outside
You
of
know,
Midland.
he was like, hey, I got footage too, and I was like, oh, you do for real? Like, holy shit. He was like, yeah, man. And I was like,
feel
send
like
it to
for
me,
where
and he
that
did.
one's at, like there should have been a lot more footage of
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that
It's
one's
no
kinda-
clouds. There's no
should've-
clouds at all in this one.
There's no clouds at all, and then he says it like darts across. The
Oh, so he did
highway.
see it move.
Yeah, it literally
Okay.
like just darts across the
Yeah.
highway, just boom, boom.
Oh.
Now it's over here, just boom, boom.
Oh,
Like
this is
that.
Mr. Swaggin.
It's just not even like, and it's just not doing anything, you know.
One of the interesting theories, because
You know, it could be perceived as it being stationary because it could be going the same speed as the vehicle, you know.
True.
what about that other one though?
No,
Yeah, the other
that
one's-
fool. I watched for
God
5 minutes
damn.
disappear into the sunlit set just in a
Oh
straight
yeah, the one that
line
we saw.
Oh, the one y'all
Yeah, we
were.
wanted
Yeah.
straight line, just like right into the sunset, just
Yeah.
like right into oblivion. It was just.
I
it was
tried,
wild.
like, when I first saw it, I thought for a second, like, oh, I got my phone out for like a split second trying to zoom in on it, realized
We
that I wasn't
tried.
going to get any good footage, so I just put my phone in my pocket and just watched it. I was
taking
like,
a picture of the moon.
yeah, I was like,
over and
screw
over.
it.
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah,
watch
take
it.
a picture
I
of the
did
moon.
zoom in on it, and it wasn't picking up
Yeah,
anything.
for
I
all
was
those
just like,
people that
fuck.
say it's a drone, just take
No,
a picture
there's
of it.
no
Take a
way.
picture of the moon and see
Yeah.
how small the moon gets. That
Well,
thing was the size
You're not
of a
gonna watch
smart
a
car,
drone
at
fly for
least.
like 10 miles over the Lubbock
Yeah.
skyline. in
We've
a
all seen
straight line.
airplanes. This is not
Yeah.
an
It
airplane.
is definitely not it.
This is not a B-2 bomb. This is not a stealth bomb. You wouldn't even be able to see that.
Dude, and if
It-
you stop, like I remember at one point I held my head perfectly still just to like perfectly look at it.
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
like,
I lost track
you-
of it.
You could like see the sun, like the light reflecting off of it. You
was
could
very
see,
real.
like I don't know, like
It was just like a metal ball just up in the sky, dark metal
Much
ball.
like we've seen in a lot of other UFO videos.
Yeah, and it's crazy how they just like popped off recently.
And-
You see them everywhere now.
We'll get into the Congress
Yeah, we got to get
hearing
into all
today,
of that.
which was actually today.
So
but,
we got them
um,
tinfoil hats on. We're gonna get really
It's just so chill
conspiratorial.
That happened today. Like it's just now it's just
Hmm.
they're real.
If you believe what he's saying.
Yeah, and you know he could be just completely full of shit.
I want to believe they're real. And he said that we have the pilots, which are
Yeah.
non-human biological,
Non-human biological entities.
which is,
Non-human
Insane.
biological.
I don't know.
entities.
I hope we have them. I mean, I hope they're real. But
You know,
so
if they're real, they're real, and you know, there's not really much we can. I mean, what are we gonna the ramifications? What ramifications? You know, it's
Nothing-
just
there
like
ain't
how is
nothing
it
we can
any
do.
different than another
Can you actually
Tuesday?
have that?
You know,
I don't, just,
that's just another fucking day recently.
okay, thank you. Yeah, I just because I kept looking at it and it was, I couldn't pay attention. I had one of the theories we talked about, and I just wanted to bring this up on the episode that will not air. Does Lubbock have nukes? Does this surrounding area have nukes?
Dude,
Probably.
I don't know, but there's Pantex. That's in Amarillo.
Yeah.
I know that.
And there's a
But
stockpile
you
there.
know, all the way
Huge stockpile.
It starts from Lubbock and then it goes all the way into Colorado and then up into Montana. That whole like that's where the dome of like security for like nuclear missile silos in the U.S. is. It's kind of like up here, starts here and then goes up into the Midwest straight up, and that's where like all the bunkers are, or the dump or the underground bases, military bases and stuff.
In the Rockies?
Yeah, apparently, like, also this stuff connects, like, Amarillo, Lubbock, up to some underground trainway that goes to the Denver airport, and then that sprawls out there to all the underground military bases that way. Supposedly.
The Denver
Allegedly.
airport.
Have y'all been to the Denver airport?
I have.
I have too.
How is it?
It's nice. It's a good airport.
That painting
but
is
it's,
cool.
there's some
Does it
creepy
have
stuff.
an eeriness to it at all? Or is
I
That
it just
mean-
New
kind
World
of-
Order painting does.
You know, it
Dude,
could
that
just
New
be a
World-
bad curator.
The eyes on the Bronco are like
person that
menacing
put that.
when you see it. Like it's creepy looking, like the glowing red eyes on like this dark horse. Like you're just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow.
And didn't
Yeah.
it fall on the sculptor?
Probably, I would not
Yeah,
doubt
like
that
fell
at
on
all.
the sculptor and killed the sculptor, right?
Yes.
That's the story.
Metal. But yeah, that if you go,
Hell yeah.
you can definitely tell like if there was like when you watch those like apocalyptic movies and everyone shuffles to like a certain area to get on in a tunnel or on something, you could see the Denver airport as being like one of those like last resort, maybe.
You've never been there? I went there one time. I went and searched out that painting. It was cool. It's a cool place. Supposedly it's in the shape of a swastika. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's real and what's not
Who
real?
painted that painting?
I don't know. Can you look that up?
I wonder if this is one of those jokes where like the artist just gets like that paint or the paycheck for it, and it was like, yeah, I'll troll.
I'll
these.
just fuck.
Yeah, I'll just troll these people. Yeah, fuck with rich people.
Yeah, fuck him.
Did y'all ever hear about that guy who he had these big old fake dinosaur feet, and he would go like late at night onto the
Yeah.
beach and walk.
Yep. There's places in
And-
Texas with those, man.
And
Yeah.
so it's like, how much of this are trolls?
Just
people fucking with people.
You know,
and
there
shit.
was a perfect window for somebody to just prank the living dog piss out of me. Like, really pull one over on me good. Like, get a drone. Like, put a
Damn.
ball around it. And you know what? Nobody did it. Nobody, like I would have been, I don't know, like, okay, I'm gonna
That would be a
for
pretty
me,
good
I would
prank.
be like, yeah.
Damn, that would have been
I'm
a
gonna
solid
fuck
prank.
with
Yeah, that's a good prank.
I'll get you on the
In fact,
podcast.
you know
if
what?
that's real.
I
Make
think
me
we
feel
should prank
crazy.
people that way. But
I'll give you a free shirt if you can prove that was you. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Mhm.
So that's the author.
Leo
not the author.
Tanguma. This is some
but
of his
nobody
work.
did.
This is his work. So he's got a very, well, what's his style? I don't know. It's cool though.
That is cool.
Yo, didn't you, Chase? Weren't you? Didn't you were up at Skinwalker Ranch, right?
Yeah.
You've been there.
I worked.
you've been there.
I worked
Tell us
in
about
that
that.
area for years.
Yeah.
That's
Is,
spooky.
is that in Utah?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in between these little places called Mighton, Vernal, and Roosevelt, and it's all like Native American tribe area. And Skinwalker Ranch is just a little tiny plot of land, but that whole area, sprawling for hundreds of miles, is just like a desolate, mountainous desert wasteland. And it goes on forever. So whenever you watch those shows or those movies and stuff, it kind of gives it a gimmick and like a bad stigma. And even the locals there don't like this new interest in Skinwalker Ranch because you've seen those Netflix shows and they make bullshit up. And I
Yeah, it's
understand they gotta
bullshit.
get
The
ratings and
secret,
stuff.
the
Yeah,
secret
you gotta get them
Skinwalker
ratings.
Ranch.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
you talk to the Native Americans there and stuff, and I mean that is like a sacred place, and like the locals that live there just accept that that is a weird area. Weird things go on there. Everyone has a video or a photo or something of a UFO there. It's just I can't describe it, but there would be times where I would check oil wells and I would drive out for 4 hours and not see a single soul in the middle of the night into these areas, and it's just sprawling for hundreds of miles. There's nothing out
Yeah.
there. And it's the cloud formations. You can't predict them. Like you cannot predict the weather. It'll snow there. 5 miles later, it's hailing. And then 5 miles later, it's just sunshine. It makes no sense. That whole area is like a thin veiled like portal. Like whether it's on a ley line or something, it's just high strangeness.
Can you explain ley lines? Because I've heard that term a lot.
yeah.
It's
In,
like if the
Ghost Adventures
if
and
the
shit.
Earth had like an energy grid and you were to draw like a grid over the planet, certain things on the Earth fall in these ley lines, like pyramids,
Bermuda
or
Triangle?
Skinwalker Ranch, Bermuda Triangle. I just feel like maybe it's just places on Earth where like the energy of it can ooze out and maybe thin the veils to other firmaments or anything like that.
Did you ever experience anything?
I have seen a UFO before, and then and what's so funny is I saw a UFO in Texas, and then I go live by Skinwalker Ranch for 3 or 4 years and don't see a single UFO. But I had some high strangeness out there, areas where I would be driving and it would just drop 20 degrees. It would be.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like, what about paranormal shit?
yeah.
I grew up in a haunted house.
Dude,
In Austin?
I like screenshot
Yeah,
that.
north of Austin, a small little area called San Gabriel. I grew up in this haunted house that was like over like 100 years old, and when we first moved in, it was just for a couple years, doors would slam. You would hear things. My brother saw me something like throw a door on me one time.
Oh my
and
God.
You you grow up with it and you don't think about it, but then when I get with my siblings and they bring it up, I'm just like, holy shit, that is kind of weird. Like, you just forget that stuff happened because it's just normal to you. But yeah, growing up in a haunted house, it was weird as hell. Like, there'd be days where we would hear something or just the room would be wrong, and me and my brother would just leave the house until our parents got home. Just weird. There was a cold spot in the back of the hallway, always fucking cold. Always cold. In this dark part of the hallway that was so weird. Even if the light was on in there, for some reason, that corner was just always just awkwardly dark and cold. And it was right outside my room. Never wanted to go pee at night.
You know
ever.
why?
Peeing out the window, bro.
Why do you think why do you think there's a close connection between the paranormal and UFOs?
So, like,
Why do you think that is?
the ultra?
Are we gonna get into the fourth kind?
I think
that
there's like
Yeah.
definitions, right?
was
The third kind, the fourth
insane.
kind.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Are you talking?
Like there's a third
The
kind,
fourth-
there's a fourth kind.
I think
I'm at the movie.
ghosts,
Times like
ghosts,
in, like,
fairies,
Sumerian
Bigfoot,
shit.
Nessie, UFOs,
Are we gonna
astral
talk about
projection,
Nessie?
all
Okay.
that stuff.
Dude, astral
Aleister
projection is
Crowley?
real.
Yeah, dude.
Astral
UFOs,
projection is
I've
real.
done that. Hey, I've done that before.
Hey, I'm gonna name drop somebody. Freaking Escape Your Body Float Center here in Lubbock.
Come do the pod.
Yeah, go do that. Go to the float center.
Dude, on Monday,
Talk to Demetrius.
on Monday we were talking about
That
that.
guy's cool as hell.
I've astral projected. I used to be
Dude,
able to.
I've done it, and then
You started smoking weed.
yeah, and then I
Exactly what
started
happens to most
smoking weed,
people.
and I don't have an imagination anymore.
You don't like the Pantera beer?
It's
I was about to compliment it.
Let me see.
I'm like,
Anyways,
except it's the
I've
first
gone there a
time.
couple of times, and like if you want to learn how to like lucid dream and astral project, that's the perfect place to do it.
Float your-
Because that float center, you even if you go in there with a completely like biased mind, and you're like, I'm just gonna meditate for 30 minutes to an hour, like do the hour. You will, just because there's no sensory, it's you're just like completely in a void,
Is it dark in there? Is there light?
Well, it's kind of, you can turn on and off the lights.
Okay.
So you can
I'd
like
have to turn the
completely
lights
turn
on.
it off.
Dude, they
There's a
recommend
little-
you have to turn the lights
Yeah,
off. It's
turn
not
the
an
lights off,
experience.
turn
yeah,
off
you
the
have to turn it
music.
off.
It's like being in the womb.
It's like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And your brain just trips out.
Really?
Yeah. In the absence of information, your brain's gonna fill it with information.
Do you think? I know this is like counterproductive of like what you're supposed to get out.
Yeah,
but could
yeah.
you trip balls and do a float center thing? Could you do
Dude,
it mentally?
Honestly,
I couldn't.
I think you would fry like an egg.
Okay, yeah.
it'd
You've been
be
there for
just
like 30
that
years
commercial.
and it's been 45 minutes.
And
like,
it'd be like that commercial. It's like, this is your brain on drugs. Yeah.
is your brain
just
on
like,
drugs in a
This is
deprivation
what it
chamber?
does to your family. Just like,
I've seen an ocean of time, and it's been like 30 minutes.
yeah, you like live for 3 months, and
Yeah.
then it's like only been an hour. You're just like, oh my god.
That's another thing about UFOs is people think
come
that
back
they're
as a
like
whole new being.
thought form energy of like astral projecting or like someone's viewing into the future or something from the past. And that thing is like a manifestation, almost like a tulpa of them like peering into this dimension.
It could be. I have a theory. It could be. There could be three possibilities. It could be something that we're doing, man-made,
Highly likely.
just
highly
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 unlikely, right? It could be an alien presence that's completely unaware of us, just like how, like, we don't really pay attention to ants unless we look at them.
Yeah.
They're completely unaware of us and they're doing their own thing. Or it could be aliens fucking with us.
I
you
think
know?
it's all three. I think we have our own.
I think there's different things going on.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's all of them, and there's no one answer for any of this. And like, I do
yeah.
think we have our own zero turn hyper propulsion like engines, and we do manufacture our own like
Can you look up the Black Manta?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
And let's also look up that hearing.
Yeah.
Too. Let's start
there's
segue into that.
There's a Twitter clip.
Wait, what?
Black Manta
Quite literally
jet,
just came up with that.
fighter jet. I think that's what it's called.
Dude, I saw this
Yeah, that's what they
video
say.
of like
This is
how
what we
they're
have.
like printing the how they're printing the fuselage and stuff. And I was like, dude, this is unreal.
But see, this is
the
again
Manta.
jet propulsion.
But it
Yeah,
has
it's
3
jet
lights. It
propulsion.
has
It
3
does.
lights.
It
That's
does.
what they say. People see.
Like I do believe we've reverse engineered certain crash crafts, and there is black op. Not even these aren't even governments doing this. Is like a higher echelon beyond all of that stuff. You'll never know or never hear about. We
Sector
have
7?
our own technology. We also know what their technology is. We cannot properly recreate everything that they have, but I do believe that they're still here, just like Dave said, just an observation state.
They're just doing something
here. And there's also, I believe there's multiple races. There's multiple different factors there. And sometimes those UFOs we see maybe aren't even from other star systems. They're from here in Earth. Maybe they're from Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
Maybe they're from Antarctica. I mean, if you want to be hidden away, you're not going to be on the observable surface. You're going to be underwater.
they live in the ocean.
Like if Antarctica is so barren, why the hell are we there? You know, and why are celebrities going down there? Why are there people just like, you know, why are people fucking with it?
Why is Antarctica the one thing, or and both poles? A lot of nations can't get along, but then the second that thing comes along, so many nations came together to unify that. Like, no, nobody should go there. Even the Russian U.S. were like, absolutely not. Like, I think it's a safe haven for million and billionaires. It's like their escape plan if something does.
I think
fuck up.
something is going on with that.
Yeah, and just like a pole shift, like if something happens everywhere else freezes, that place will become tropical.
the poles are shifting.
Florida, the water was as hot as a hot tub today.
Where, in Florida?
In Florida, yeah. It was like 98 degrees.
Wait, you went to Florida today? Is that why you were late? Okay.
Yeah. I time traveled. I can bend space and time. But so, hey, this is why I wanted to bring you with me on the podcast. It's because I'm going to be devil's advocate. I know you believe it could be a number of things, but just for the sake of the argument,
okay.
Like, I'm going to say, like, I think it's like a completely, like, our technology that we have today is just because of our education system and how well it's been able to work. I mean, it's kind of like, it's on the fritz nowadays, but but you know, like, our ability we have literally 98% of people on the planet are literate.
Okay.
In their own tongue.
For the first time ever.
For the first time
human
ever
history.
in human history. We literally have like an army of people that have the intelligence of like Pythagoras.
Oh, this is what you and your friend were talking about, right?
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. It's just because of knowledge is just compounding on itself.
Okay.
And the reason why things are accelerating so fast is it's just information that's being, it's like information being aggregated. We have these group of people that are literally are like an aggregation of
with all
working on a single goal.
With all this information and all this knowledge, yet Joe
We don't have
Schmo,
one
Joe Schmo in
person
his
working on
basement
it.
still can't solve why these things are here.
But the thing is, like, why those things are here. But you know, I don't think there's any reverse engineering. You know, we don't have just one person solving.
We still don't know how the pyramids
We
work.
have a
We can't
whole
reverse engineer
10,000 people solving these problems.
Yeah.
You know, we have an army of people solving unique problems that face our world. You know, and it's like,
But-
I don't think it's some mystery. I
But
think
solving
it
a
legitimately
problem
is.
sometimes, just like with the medical
I don't think
industry
it's
or the government,
help.
you follow what the university system tells you to follow, and you do that. So the government obviously would bust their ass to cover up certain things. Like, I think Bob Lazar is a hack, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
he
I
did
think
know of
Bob
a weird
Lazar is a
element.
hack.
He's got to sell a story, right?
He's
But
selling a story.
Yeah,
How
for
much of it
sure.
do you think
You know,
was-
listen.
They picked him on reason. They just told him a
I
little
think
bit.
he knows something, but he's got to sell a story in a book with it. That's why we're still talking about him. He's successful, but
I think he
it
was just
hurts
a
him.
guard. I
Yeah.
think he was just a guard to the building. You know, if you really listen to his story, he describes a hand scan thing.
Yeah.
The guy had a secret clearance. I had the same clearance whenever I was in the military.
yeah.
And you know what? It's nothing special.
It's nothing special.
It's
Like,
really not. Like, all I did, you know, I was a carrier for my unit. And so literally they would give me an envelope and they're like, hey, just take this to battalion. Don't open it. And I'm like, okay. And then I would just like go to battalion and be like, here, take this. I think they're I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't even like speculate about it, and I would just go about my day.
That's what the whole hearing that is, that whole AA whatever hearing
Yeah.
for UFOs is mainly
Twitter
about.
video.
Like,
Yes.
dude. If you've watched these disclosure things, they're almost all the fucking same. Nothing really solidified.
Heard
Nothing.
this from this
Yeah,
guy.
and it's a whole plausible deniability thing. But what's
Go to
happening?
my Twitter, would you?
So the reason why the
I think
Department
there's a lot of
this
misinformation
one's
going on,
different
too.
because this one's different.
I don't know about this guy.
This
Likes.
one's different because the Department of Defense is involved with that. And basically, I just think it's more of a
Hey,
cordial.
that's a great profile picture, by the way.
I find this as more of a
wonder who
procedural to
took that
watch
from
where the money is funneling from all these like black projects, and the Department of
keep going
Defense
down.
wants to get
Right
involved.
there.
There it is.
That one right
Yes.
there.
Holy
Let's
shit.
Don't full screen it. Just press it.
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
I wonder what that means.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are
Sentient
currently still
soup.
in the program.
Sentient soup.
And was this
Sentient soup.
documentary
Yeah.
evidence,
Sentient soup.
video,
Yeah.
photos?
Could biologics
eyewitness?
mean sperm?
How would that be
Biologics.
I watched this
Alien
anime
sperm?
one time, and
The
the
specific
aliens were liquid,
documentation I
and they
would
would
have to
like
talk to you
liquidate
about.
in their spacecraft and control it and form whatever thing
Okay.
that they needed to.
So,
to
and,
like
and you may or may
pilot
not be able to
stuff.
answer my last
Interesting.
question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the
There's a
next
movie
hearing
about
that
that
we
too,
have.
another
but
one.
who in the
Which
government,
one? I want to see
either
this.
what agency,
Like the Abyss.
sub-agency, what contractors,
become like-
who should be called into the next hearing
ship,
about
basically.
UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in
What is
those.
hostile?
And how soon can we get that list?
Hostile means
provide
This
it
is
to you
why
after
the
the
Department of
Super.
Defense is
Thank you.
involved
And
with
I yield
this
back.
hearing
Yeah.
compared to other ones, and why they have their own like secular project investigating a lot of these things. Because now I think they're trying to get more money to the space budget, and this is a really good way of having like a core
Yeah, this
procedural
is
interest
like-
in it.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
be
Oh,
shit,
very
the logo
cynical
changed
about
the
it, this could be just a ploy. This could be just a ploy for us to be like, all right,
Yeah.
well, let's give them let's give them more tax money.
Is it a
Let's
psyop
give 'em
on
money.
top of a psyop?
My
on top
friend
of a
told me
psyop?
that like
Let's pay him
years and years
something.
ago. That's what he said.
Yeah.
What?
Years.
That it was a psyop?
Just for more money for military
Yeah.
spending.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally
Yeah.
all it is. It's shining light on these budget projects that they can't talk about. So they're like, oh, hey, if you want to invest in this and you don't want people in your R&D to like know about it, get on this fucking boat.
Yeah.
That's how.
Fuck, I wish it was
I think it's a money train. I think that's going on.
I think they are there, but I don't think that we can do anything about it and stuff. But
Yeah.
of
You
a
know, this guy could be just like completely talking out of his ass, you know, like willing to, you know, he's under oath, and yes, he's a veteran, okay, but that doesn't, you know, and I'm not trying to insult his character, you know,
so like, if he,
but there's an incentive.
do you
here
think
for
if he
him.
was actually gonna leak information, he wouldn't just be like suicided in his hotel room or something? Like, I feel like if he was actually holding weight to like these kind of things, then the government does not want this out to the general public. Obviously, they've done many things in the past that have been proven to cover their ass. Why wouldn't they do that with alien
Just
technology?
They do.
Well,
Yeah.
Our government even does
Yeah.
things to us.
So if he's a
And then
real
they're like,
threat,
"Ooh,
I don't think he'd
sorry.
be up there on that stand.
we
Like,
did that.
How much of it is do you think they knew he was going to be the whistleblower, so they fed him
Yeah.
false
They
information?
set him up
Maybe
like
they
they do.
Because
Fall Guys
he
all the
thinks he's
time.
telling the truth, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
but it's like complete
so that's why they
BS.
haven't killed him. Like, because we gave
Yeah,
you this,
yeah.
we know
Yeah,
what you're
we're
going to
just
do.
We're
gonna
gonna
let
put you
you do
up.
it.
We're not gonna like kidnap your wife. You're gonna go up here say these things. People are gonna be like, okay, that's cool. Play the
You know,
part.
and this
take the check.
also just completely wastes so much freaking time in Congress. You know, we're trying to get these guys
Yeah.
to stop cheating the system with the taxes, not only with the taxes, but also with the insider trading. That
Yeah.
bullshit.
Oof, don't get me
So-
started on that,
so-
buddy.
Man,
but what
these
if-
fuckers,
What do you put
Pelosi.
along with the correlation,
Oh,
though? What do you put
the
along
whole
with
lot of them, fuck them.
What do you put along with the correlation, though, of this uptick in UFO footage and then this also happening immediately after, like within the month? Like,
Oh yeah,
if you've been
They're-
on the internet,
they're just looking to do nothing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe there's a coalescence there of like we have seen this uptick all around, especially in the United States, of UFO footage, and then this hearing is literally
kicking
coming
the
up.
can.
So that to me puts that whole psyop tinfoil hat on me of like this is almost aligned.
You
too
know, they got us.
perfectly.
They got us
Something's
fucking.
wrong here.
They got us fucking arguing over pronouns and all kinds of bullshit. And then they're just
I
like,
just
hey,
want to
guess
see
what?
them aliens.
Try
Hey,
that in a
guess
small
what? We
town,
got
buddy.
aliens. Check this
Bro,
shit out.
I'm telling you, space drugs. Just tell me about it. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, bro. Let's do it.
It's just fucking crazy that that you guys saw that shit flying around.
Yeah.
And no one
It's
else
weird.
did. People saw
just
us
saying,
looking
it's like-
up.
You know,
but,
it's
like,
not my first UFO either.
have you ever tried to
I've
point at
seen one
something at the
before,
sky too? And it's like, do I go grab somebody or I just sit there and just watch this and observe it?
It was
you're struck
literally-
in awe. Like you can't believe it's happening while it's happening.
That literal first 5 minutes, I was in sheer awe. Like,
Yeah.
it was like a mundane thing, but I just couldn't stop
You
looking.
do the
at it.
checklist. You're like plane, no. Drone, no.
No.
Balloon, no.
Nope.
But like, what is that?
Yeah, and then I'm just like, man.
Right over
Man.
our hometown.
I'm like, what is that shit? What is that
Fuck.
shit?
I saw a UFO. This is the second time I've seen a UFO. And what are the odds of that? I've been into aliens my whole life.
Yeah.
And then in July 31st, the last day of July. July is 31 days, right? I just only remember this because the next day I had to pay rent, and I knew it was the last day of July. But I was at work, County Road 116, Caldwell, Texas, at 4:45 p.m. A bunch of shit was going on at job, so I went to go sit on this big old tire and just have a breather. It was hot as balls. It was fucking July. I look up in the middle of the sky, and literally from horizon to horizon, in my visual, just this like cigar-shaped craft. And you know, like Predator when he's all reflective and he's in like mirror mode. It looked
Yeah.
like that going through the sky, but you could see the clouds reflecting off of it, around it, and the sun hitting it. And no sound, no nothing. And I just sit there and I'm just like, what the fuck is that? I thought I had maybe like something in my eye or like an eye booger or something. Nope. I'm just sitting on this tire at work. I freaked out. I
What are
called
those
my
things
best
called?
friend
The
and I
little
called.
floaties, eye floaties.
Dude,
I have to do
Black
that a
holes?
lot. I'm looking through.
Dude,
I'm
I
looking,
saw that. The
looking
eyes
at the
are
sky.
black
I'm like,
holes or
all right,
whatever.
that's an eye floaty.
Well, they say those things are black holes.
that's not a UFO. That's an eye floaty.
Dude, but it's what's really crazy is like I've always been interested in these things and I've always loved these things. And
Yeah,
you
I
know,
think it's
most people that are
fascinating
in this
shit.
stuff
It's so
do
fun.
not.
It's so fun.
I don't
Hey,
care.
Here's
Like,
the
it's
curse of it though.
fascinating.
Here's the curse of it though. You want to believe in it, and you're always going to be a skeptic. And all of a sudden, you have that curse of actually seeing something you can't explain, and
Like,
then all
honestly-
of a sudden, all of your insane thinking about it is confirmed, and then you're like, where the fuck do you go from there? You want to know more. That hyper obsession gets exaggerated even more.
Then you're wearing tinfoil hats
Now
on the
you
snake pit.
understand like why
Yeah.
people, the
We got
crazy
them
people
suckers
that
on
ramble
tight.
about this stuff, they look stressed out or crazy is because there is no explanation for this stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's fitted. Like they came prepared. They knew I was
I
gonna
spent
put this
some
on.
time on that.
Yeah, this
bro.
is like this hugs my dome
Oh, yeah.
like so
Your
well.
heads are cooking
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. Yes,
that's what
I'm
mine is.
sweating so bad.
So last time we did this, I just got those out there. It was hotter than this.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
was miserable.
God, it
I was pissed.
miserable.
And Dave was eating hot Cheetos.
Yeah,
were
I
both eating
slammed
How
a
did that
bag of
sound?
hot Cheetos
Hot
and
Cheetos and Dr. Pepper.
a Dr Pepper.
the Reggie or like the jalapeno ones.
No, the Reggies.
The
yeah.
Reggie.
The
Yeah,
Reggie hot
we
Cheeto
both
or the
had hot.
jalapeno
We
cheddar
showed
one.
up with hot Cheetos and
Dr.
Dr
Pepper.
Pepper.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
crazy.
gang,
Radio,
gang,
bro.
girl.
But,
Yeah.
let's go.
And it was so hot in here, I was not even paying attention. I could not focus. It was
But-
so fucking hot.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really want it to be real.
You know what? Like,
But-
kind of like put a chip on my shoulder.
Like
Ancient Aliens.
UFO.
That TV show
Oh, okay.
on the History
What do you think I was
Channel
talking about?
did
I
such
was
a
like, talking about
disservice
the
to
hot Cheeto
UFOs.
situation. I was like,
No,
that's pretty
I was-
real.
Those
watching
guys
it.
are a bunch of scam artists, dude. A lot
Who?
of those guys are so full of shit, dude.
Who?
The Ancient Alien guys, dude.
Oh, Dave.
Dude, those
come
guys
on.
right there are like
I don't know, man.
bankrolling that con,
Can you
dude.
give them the bastion though of getting people to ask questions that
You know
that
what?
society
They
does
might
not
have started
Honestly,
it
like
I'm
that.
grateful for entertaining me
Yeah.
during my deployment.
All these people
And,
want is truth. That's all they want.
And like,
I think we
I'm
deserve it.
grateful for the videos because they were like so captivating.
Oh, yeah.
well edited. Even when they use stock footage, like whoever is working that soundboard
History
and
Channel
doing the sound for that,
the
for that
reenactment
episode,
guys, all
God
that
damn.
they were dialed in.
I want to, and
You did
I
a
still
good job.
might. I want to, and I still might steal their intro. and make it the Snake Pit intro. I want to
dude.
so bad.
Yeah.
I love it. But-
Honestly, like, it's a compelling show, but then when you really like look into it, you're like, all right, dude. Honestly,
They started getting weird.
they're not
Bigfoot.
giving human beings enough credit. Like, God, like we haven't really changed biologically we haven't changed in the last 100,000 years. You know, we're the same. We have the same brains as our like
on that, Dave.
our
I think
ancestors.
we're on the cusp of like humanism.
I think we're going through
progressing into a thing that
we're
we've never
changing
seen
With
into
AI?
something different.
Not really
You know?
AI. I just think technology and society and the way we've been living for the last 100 years is coming to an end because for technology and us to progress the way we've been living on this planet can't
Just
happen
the
anymore.
way-
It's not feasible for us with our resources, and that's why this whole alien thing is a huge discussion. Like, if we had like free energy and stuff, where would society be? How do you have a system that's based on money and death and shit, but you have a thing that's free energy? Wouldn't that solve all of world hunger? Wouldn't that solve all like your electric bill is gone? You can telepathically communicate with somebody because we're all wired in. I think we are going towards a future, but you have this upper echelon of people in the world, and whether it's the MJ-12 or anything like that want us to be stressed out and freaked out and worried about things, and it's a weird way of like thinning of the herd and keeping things the way they are. But we've now come to a head where we can't avoid it anymore. Like, we are seeing these things. We're watching this AI grow, and everyone's starting to see on the horizon, like, where is the human race going to be in 50
that
years?
CEO
in 50 years,
of
we're gonna be somewhere
OpenAI, he does
insane.
not care. He's just like I'm just gonna like keep, you know, like I was. They called it like worshiping Moloch.
Oh, you're talking about like the Moloch, like old Moloch
No,
worship?
it's a game theory term. It's when a collective, like, it's when people make like decisions for themselves that greatly benefit themselves.
Yeah,
but
that's the left-hand path.
but it does not benefit the whole. But it's like the whole, everyone is doing it. So it's just like you're like chasing this thing that is obviously
They're just
on
chasing
a bell
power.
curve into like
if
infinity.
everyone had power and everyone was equal,
And it's
there's
just
no
like
way to get over on
literally like
somebody.
chasing something into destruction is what it is. Self-destruction.
So
you know?
okay. So here's an idea I want y'all to think of too.
It's called the worship of Moloch.
Industrial revolution in our lifetime, not our lifetime, but in the last, recent
1800s?
history. Exactly. That progressed society all over the world into a huge way, very, very fast. And we had a hard wave
Just how we
ramifications of that.
use written
the
Starts
Dutch-
World Wars.
World Wars, all of that stuff started stock and trade and like all this stuff. So just like how the Industrial Revolution re-revolutionized the world, I think that's going to happen in our lifetime in the next 50 years. We're going to
Shit,
hit
next
the
10 years,
next
buddy.
thing. And
I
it's
think
not
we're in
gonna-
the middle
it's
of
gonna
it.
be-
Next 10
yeah,
years,
it's
man.
Industrial Revolution 10x. Like, and that's the thing is I don't know where it's
I
going.
think we're in the middle of
So,
it.
I
think
feel
we're
like
deeply in the middle.
I mentioned this the last time that you were here.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that
yeah.
Podcast, but like talking about like jumping in technology and how like we need to advance. You know, like we're due for that.
Yeah.
Okay, I talked about American Horror Story. I don't know what fucking season it is. I'm blanking. But there's a season, it has to do with aliens, and people are whatever, and it's like revealed that like when the aliens and government like met, essentially the aliens like granted us as humans like technology that we would have never had access to, so they pretty much like granted it to us, and that like advanced us like microwaves or shit
They
like
met with Eisenhower, supposedly.
Yeah.
That-
You're
that's in-
talking
that's in
about
American
Bill
Horror
Cooper
Story.
book, Behold a Pale Horse.
That's why they had
Sure.
national parks.
So,
Hell yeah.
yes, yeah,
Yep.
and that was it. It was like pretty much like the president was like, you can have the national parks if you need to use people.
You
Type
can
shit.
kidnap, mutilate our cattle, get weird with hikers.
Yes.
Just don't, scare people and shit.
So it's like, in that case, with this happening, like this being made public, is that essentially like, is that like softening us to the idea of like we might actually,
I think
you
we've
know,
been
like,
I think we've been softened to this for like at
they're-
least
they've been
10, 12
desensitizing
years.
us and
But
conditioning us
since
and
E.T.
regulating
So
us
how do you
You know,
how do you
since
land the
E.T. came
blow
out
of
in
saying
theaters.
aliens were real when the government's still like, we got to look strong and like we're in charge? But how do you admit that they're inferior? That's the thing of like this trickle of information and like what they're admitting and what they're not admitting.
It's a Cold War like race for
Yeah.
the technology of if they're real.
Yep.
Yeah, like honestly, there's no reason why like the fighter jets need to be so advanced nowadays. You know,
Yeah,
like
they do.
yeah, they're chasing after something. I think it's more than just us.
I do too.
You know? I think they want to catch up to whatever's.
So do you don't think that
They
we
need
don't
to
have
engage
like zero turn like gravitational like technology engines already?
I'm under the theory that the
Nah.
things that we're seeing in the sky are ours, but we got it from them.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I think.
And that's the
think we
thing.
got
That's cool
I
too.
think
That's a
we
cool
have
idea
it, but
too.
we haven't perfected it like they have. But a lot of the stuff that I think we do have, we can imitate it, but it might not have the strength or power that their stuff has. We can reverse engineer things, but maybe some of their elements or their stuff that they're building has stuff that's not available to us on this planet. Like, do y'all believe in just like what she was saying about the Eisenhower thing, about them meeting with aliens and them starting? That's when like microwaves came out, and that's when we started fucking with
Went to the
mass
moon?
communication with like internet and stuff like that. To the moon. Do you think the moon? Do you think we really went to the moon?
Yes, but I don't think
Yeah,
we
we definitely
we
went
didn't
to the
record
moon.
it.
Okay.
That recording's fake.
I don't
Yeah.
think we
Yeah.
recorded.
We went
it.
there.
We went
But
there.
we definitely went there.
The film couldn't make it back.
Stan-
The film
Stanley
could not
Kubrick
make
did.
it
Yeah,
back.
there's
from the
no
moon.
way the film
Have
could
you
have
heard about-
just passing through the Van Allen belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
there's
heard
no way.
about the place where they say that they filmed it?
Where?
I don't know. So I don't. That's not.
Where Kubrick
underneath
was?
the Denver airport?
They were recruiting. This is a theory. It's an like so
That's
the
why we got them hats on.
the anti-war movement starts to happen. So they recruit these motherfuckers, all sons of generals. Who's one of them?
Jim Morrison.
Morrison, into this building. They put him in there and they say, "You're gonna infiltrate the anti-war movement to break it up with this fucking music." And
Was
the
it Zappa
so
part
the
of
hit,
it?
so the hippie movement was all because the
Yeah.
CIA was like, "You guys need to break this shit up so we can fucking control it." And they did it in that building. And you know who owns that building now? Jared Leto.
Wow,
Dude,
interesting.
It's fucking
Interesting.
I don't know, man. That's fact. All of that.
Yeah.
Those people live there, and Leto owns
There
it.
was
But
that
they say they filmed
commune
it.
of hippies out there, and like,
Well, they
wasn't-
created the hippies,
Yeah.
man.
And then they sent them all off to Nam, and they got tired of them.
Yeah, it's shit like that. It's fun to think about, and it's kind of disappointing and sucks. But
You know, I also think it's just in our nature to want a higher power to save us from our own humanity. You know, like we just kind of like cling to these things, like just like how
We
to
cling
God
to
and
the easy
things like
way
that.
out. General
Yeah,
people
but
do.
I think it just stems from a behavior when we were children, and we would like go to our parents to bail us out. I think it's just something that's carried over.
But what if this is also
You
a
know?
behavior that is like inherent in humans when you're in a hyper stress environment created by social media and manipulation like that on your
Dude,
psyche?
it's like, man, yeah, there's a lot of weird
So
social media
we
manipulation.
are more malleable when we're scared and all that stuff. So
yeah.
if you wanted to coerce people into do something, you scare the shit out of them with disease, with aliens, with repercussions that they can't even wrap their heads around. But I do, yeah, you are right.
Where-
People do want to be led into certain places and
people
stuff like
want
that.
to be
Because it's
rescued
easy. It's
from
easy to be
themselves,
told what to
you
do
know?
than to think for yourself. Because thinking for yourself is dangerous in 2023.
like even myself. Like I'm the worst atheist in the world, but even myself, like deep
You don't
into
believe
my
in God?
deep
Yep.
into my atheism. Tell you what, if something bad's happening to me, I fucking bail out.
I believe
I'm like,
in the
God,
most
please bail me out of
craziest
this.
shit, and I still believe in God somehow. That's
I don't know.
That's one of the only beliefs I believe that's like grounded my ass. But
Yeah.
still, like,
I believe it.
I believe it too.
You know, I'm one of those crazy people that thinks that nothing happens after this. You know, that this is it. This is the best that we get.
Lights out.
Lights out.
Damn.
Yep.
So how do you explain ghosts and stuff like that?
I can't explain that, and I've experienced that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's spooky.
You know, like when I was stationed at Fort Stewart, right? And Savannah, Georgia is like the most
Oh,
haunted
yeah.
place in the world.
Dude, I've been there.
Not in
My-
the world. I say the United States. I'm really good at embellishing.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the United States, most haunted city in the United States, and the barracks room nobody wanted to be I didn't have a roommate in the barracks, you know, I was a specialist
You were
promotable.
the solo spooky spaghetti soldier in
Yeah,
there.
I was a specialist promotable, and you know what? I had the whole space to myself. But it was the barrack where I think someone had committed suicide in,
Okay.
and weird things would happen. It was like my closet light would turn on and off, just like literally and you could hear the pull thing. You could hear it like literally like jangle against the light and everything.
Yeah.
Somebody was just in there pulling that sucker.
Yeah.
And then my refrigerator door would open and close, but it would be a subtle open and close. And one time it slammed, and I was like, holy shit.
So what do you think ghosts are? Poltergeist, or like what do you
Who
think?
knows? You know,
Like
Residual
the
energy.
general idea of ghosts. Like what do you think those could be? As an atheist, how would you explain that?
Okay, so I mean, just it could be just like our presence in a four. So we're in a box, right?
Okay.
And it could be just quantum entanglement. Like we're in this box, we're shedding
Yeah.
cells all the time. You know, it could be like literally, and then even like our voices reverberating in the room. It could be residual. It could be just because of a quantum effect of the room projecting
like the photons of your atom are still loading in the 4D
like honestly
behind
like
you know thing.
Think about it this way, like the reverse of you being conscious, you being the observer in a box. You know,
Okay.
you have no sense of like literally there could be an infinite of possibilities outside of your room or outside of your house.
So you're getting in on that
If
like
you're
infinite
completely
universe
unaware.
hologram shit.
And then, like, once you experience it, then it, like, aggregates into reality.
Well,
Then it coalesces into reality.
We also don't know like how
around
much
you.
our like the reality we see, the spectrum we see is
We're
is
only
very
seeing a
limited.
very
Yeah.
limited spectrum
And-
of reality
and
ourselves.
animals can see different shit, and they probably sense. They sense it. I don't know. I don't know
But,
if it's some afterlife shit.
it's just, like, events are so incredibly powerful, you know, that they're, like, literally imprinted into the room.
Yeah.
So
A lot of energy.
You know, like
Yeah,
insane violence or...
I can understand
or,
that being residual. I
you
remember
know.
listening. I've talked about it before.
Or even insane self-violence, you
yeah,
know?
like I remember listening to a
Ghosts
podcast.
like periods.
It was like a ghost paranormal podcast, and there was like a investigation at a house where a murder suicide happened, and pretty much this guy blew his girl's brains out by the front window, and her shit like went out. You know what I mean? And so the psychic is investigating this house,
Yeah.
and this murder or whatever had happened, I think like a year or two prior. So it was pretty recent. And she sees in like the gravel bed like a tiny little shard of glass. And her being a psychic, she was like, that little shard is almost like a tape recorder, and it recorded that murder. So she could hear the murder happening on that little piece of glass. But that's
Yeah.
like it's like some things are just so
Or
dark
she
and
could just be
like
grifting those people.
maybe
just like straight
maybe,
up
but she was just kind of-
working a mark.
But
you know,
it makes sense though.
Yeah.
Like,
just like
shit being
astral
so
projection,
heavy.
just playing
It
a
just
part,
stains.
just making it happen.
Yeah, just like astral projection, like the intense
Yeah.
emotion
things
and
can be
feeling
true.
behind that. Yeah, and emotions
Yeah,
do have
yeah.
energy and stuff, and like that's why more traumatic things get seen as ghost things, because I believe like trauma and stuff is a lingering energy form and stuff.
Yeah,
That's where
trauma
bad
is a
energy and good
lingering energy form
Yeah.
for sure. You know, shouting in a room.
yelling at
The-
your plants are not
yeah.
going to grow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You know, like,
shouting in a
music
room,
therapy,
like, you
sound
think
therapy,
your
shit
sound-
like that.
Your sound is vibrating the atoms in the air, and that is connecting to the atoms that are in the paint in the wall.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like transferring information.
I also think some
You
people
know?
are born with just different abilities. I
Yeah.
think some people can tap into.
Maybe.
I think
They're
It was
pineal.
really
I think
funny.
so.
really think
So,
yeah.
like,
no
so
calcified pineal glands.
shout out to my homegirl.
because we
but-
talked to what's his name, Aaron, on Monday, and he was telling us about some shit just that he could see and experience. And
interesting.
I don't know if psychics are real or any of that shit, but I do think people can feel certain things. I do really
Yeah,
like
yeah.
brujerías and shit. Like, that shit's real.
I
Yeah.
used to
And those
oh,
Native
I-
Americans know some weird shit too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still have. Well, I have a friend, but they remember growing up as a child, they would have like thoughts and like just like thoughts that would consume them and dreams that would consume them of like a family member getting into a car accident or whatever. So
Oh my God.
as a kid, this person would go to their grandma like, Grandma, I keep having these awful dreams about blah, 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 getting into this car accident. And grandma would be like, do not think about those things. Like, you will make them happen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
And-
manifestation.
That's real.
And aunt would get into a car
Yeah,
accident.
manifestation.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
That-
like these
it
things,
is
like
manifestation
she
is
would-
very real.
Law of
she would
attraction.
dream about
Brian.
Law of
death, or she would
attraction.
dream about illness in the family, and it would
You
kind
know?
of happen or whatever.
Maybe there's multiple timelines and universes, and they somehow just
Things just kind of coalesce.
yeah.
You know,
Maybe
based on our
sometimes maybe you're firing off a nuke, bleeds them in, and the
I don't
aliens
think
come
we're
through there.
ever gonna fire off a nuke.
Well,
I
I'm
think
saying
it's
the
a
aliens.
big bluff.
Well, the aliens start coming through, and
I think they
not very
realized the
weird ass
power
hat.
that Eisenhower had, you know, and that Truman was willing to use, and they saw that power, and the world was like, you know what, we can't do this.
we needed to do it so the world wouldn't do it.
Yes, I don't think we'll ever
Yeah.
see. I don't think
Hopefully
we'll
not.
ever see a nuclear Armageddon. I don't think we'll ever see a nuclear war ever again. I think it's going to go back to traditional warfare. You know, because it's like you can't just like
What holds
you
it
know
to the rules of
in
traditional
the idea.
warfare, though?
Well, just because like
Body
yeah,
count.
you
right?
think
the idea of like having control of a thing, if you're able to like destroy a thing that you had, if you're able to destroy a thing, then you control the thing.
Okay.
You know, I think that's kind of like, I mean, after a while, you kind of become wise to that decision.
That's
Be
why,
like,
that's why
I'm
the
living
U.S. is
on
the final
thing that I
judge on
can
what
have.
countries can have nuclear
Yeah.
power or not. We kind of took the
Yeah.
managerial duty when we set the first one off on other people, and I think it.
We took the car keys.
I think it could happen again. While if it falls, we've played a million like
I don't think it's
Tom
gonna happen.
Clancy sci-fi thrillers where the terrorist gets the nuke codes and
But
yada
what
yada yada.
about-
But that
what
shit's
about
real
the,
life. That shit is real life. Like they almost had a nuclear strike from Russia when it was a UFO sighting, and that general decided not to do it or something.
What was that explosion during COVID that was like in the Middle East?
That Beirut one or
Yeah,
whatever that
Beirut.
killed like
That could have been a
200 people?
possible nuke.
Dude.
That could have been a possible nuke.
those
They're
videos.
people are releasing like different angles of that footage, and it is like unreal.
Have you seen the one of the women
It's
taking like her bridal
wild.
pictures?
Yes,
And she
they
just
get
is-
rocked, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, I was like, God, you know, like
Do you remember that?
the
You don't even
army
need
in me
nukes.
just
Yeah, you don't
just
need
loves
you
the
don't need-
chaos.
You can
you
kill
know?
you can kill
The army in
countries
me
with
is
social
just like,
media. Like you can kill countries with just like
That's what they're doing here.
yeah.
Let's go.
You can kill countries just by not letting them eat. Like you can ruin it with Facebook.
Economic
as
wars.
US proves.
Economic wars,
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
That's how it's gonna be fought.
We'll never do a direct Dave, I don't think we'll ever do a direct ground on ground war ever again
Dude.
because the way the technology is going and everything, traditional warfare is out the window.
I've seen some horrific videos from the Ukraine right now. and
Oh
I'm like,
yeah.
I would never send my child.
There's like two different like kind of like
oh God.
you're like me as a veteran, I am like appalled by the, you know, just the savagery of war, but at the same time I hear the drums, you know, and there's just something about the camaraderie that comes with being in war. And you looking out for your buddy, you're just like you know, there's a lot of veterans from the United States that are over there as mercenaries right now. And you know what? They are like they're doing what they want to do. They're having the time of their life, you know. And not to be a warmonger, but that's their kick, you know.
That's their job.
know that
They're
you
Their
good
do
at
kick
it.
is to be on the edge of
Do you think
death.
that's just like?
It's to look at death and be in the face and just like and go for it.
Do you think
know?
that's just like from just like the DNA of some men
Yes,
being
it's
warriors?
I mean, it's the
throughout
DNA
history?
of men of being
Man has to
warriors,
have
and
an
there's just
enemy.
something
Man-
very
yeah.
primal about
Man
having
has
an enemy,
to conquer
having an
something
adversary.
to feel pride. And I think if
You
we
know?
wash that out of our system, we're not
become
men
aliens.
anymore. We'll become a fucking horror story or a nightmare. But yeah, I think humans do work better when we have an enemy to strive for. And I think a lot of the times, like whether the U.S. government wants to paint the enemy as this or all that stuff, that's a huge thing I always like tell people is like you need an enemy to work towards something. Make the enemy yourself and you'll work on yourself. I like kind of like live by that code. Like there's never peace. There's never ever peace for humans. It's not in our DNA. It's not in our blood. And that's a huge thing that's might be coming up to like this huge like transhumanism thing is like them trying to find like a solidary peace and like a solution to all these problems we have.
Maybe.
But how do you do that and you still have How do you do that drastically and get 7 billion people on board with it at the same time? Aliens. Space
New World
weed.
Order, baby.
Space weed.
Space weed, let's go.
All right, this is a good time to take a break because I have to piss like a motherfucker. To Crowley.
Shit sigil.
What goes on in your head?
Take that joint.
But like, so I remember hearing that I guess like these like rituals and spells or whatever that he would do it wasn't just like a overnight type thing. Like they would take like weeks to months to like cultivate, and like he had to get a house that faced a certain
Are you talking about
direction.
his like dark thought Tulpa castle called like the Black Lodge, where he'd meet that alien figure called like Elm or something? That notorious drawing we have of this gray alien with a giant forehead. That is from Aleister Crowley.
Maybe is it from that house that's out there?
That's basically what it was. I'll show you. Link it to aliens. Keep going.
But essentially, so he was doing this ritual for these months or whatever to like conjure whatever he was trying to conjure.
Yeah.
Something happened where he like.
It went out. God damn it.
You need a lighter?
I got it.
Where he dipped.
Yeah.
He dipped before the ritual was done, before he completed it.
Oh.
And so he left something open.
Oh my God.
And after that is when people
Aleister
started
Crowley
reporting.
drawing of a large-headed gray.
Let me see.
Cool.
Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm terrified.
He saw that demon in like some astral projection shit where he'd go to this like dark place in that Black Lodge, I think. And yeah.
That's very straight on.
But apparently after he left that island or that whatever, that's shortly
Well,
after.
what's the time period of Mr. Crowley?
50s. He was in like some.
No, not at all.
Was it
That was
1800s?
The
that was
Golden
the
Dawn.
20s.
No, the Golden Dawn.
was the Golden Age.
Okay, no, he was around for all of that shit. He was also a spy for a while, but that shit was in the 50s and all that shit. By the 60s hit, he was like a heroin junkie out in the woods, but like he really caught his stride in between like the 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Are we back on right now?
Yeah.
Oh, we're already back on?
I won't show
Order
any
of the
I won't
Golden
show
Dawn,
any
I
of
believe,
that,
is what it was called.
if that's what you're
Yeah, that's
concerned
fine.
about.
Yeah.
I won't show none of that.
I don't care if you do. Like, I have a collection of photos of like all of
You just
everybody smoking.
Not me.
Not you, though. Yeah. But I do. It's a secret stash.
Space weed. That's
Man,
why they
you're
were
like a CIA operative or something.
No,
bro.
because
Are you a
they look
glowy?
really cool. And it's like, sometimes you just want something for yourself. You got to do the things for them and do one thing for yourself. That's a thing for myself. I mean, like, there's photos, there's even a shit ton of photos of me smoking too. Yeah.
I love weed.
I love
Yeah.
it. Gang, gang.
Do you think we could pass the aliens a joint or something?
Shit, I would smoke weed with
I always
an alien.
wondered if aliens were real, what like sort of chemistry we have with them.
Like,
What
are
could we
you-
do with them?
Like, would they come from an atmosphere where they're like
Okay, now
A-frame
we're
bodies
back
would be
on.
completely different from ours and stuff? Like,
Well,
if
no,
they would
ultimately,
be,
could we have sex with aliens?
like bangable aliens?
Do they
that-
love? Do
that-
they have
that real
companionship?
Yeah.
Do they have art?
Trying to fuck.
Do they have a hierarchy of like the way we perceive like our society?
Yeah.
Is it the same across the universe?
So if you're an extremist, like technologically advanced, like society or
Do they have
cult
pirates?
civilization, would art even be important?
Yeah. Do they have like
Are they
rogue
robots?
space dudes who just come here and fuck with us? I don't know. That's what I would want to know.
Dude.
That's only I don't care about because nothing else matters. Like you're saying, like
I
they
asked
got
Brandy.
tech. What am I gonna do with the tech?
Yeah.
What
I wanna know.
Yeah,
I wanna
Brandy
know
wrote
what you
that
do.
story, like Brandy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Hey, shout out to her. That's our homegirl right there. She's been hitting me up to want to do a collab for like almost a year now. And that girl, we were already working on, we were going to work on, we were kind of already had something in development. She wanted to write a story about me and the collective. And I was just like, okay, well, let's figure something out. And it was originally going to be about June Jam. And she was actually at the event. Right?
She brought her daughter.
Yeah, she brought her daughter. Yeah. And
Shout out to her.
she kept hitting me up. She wanted me to at the event. She wanted me to go to Two Dogs and drink with her. And then I was like, I'm working this event. But she she came over, and I told her, I was like, yo, I saw a UFO. I got on a video and I showed it to her, and we were both just like gunning it up. We were like, all right, we know exactly what we're gonna do with that.
The funniest thing about that event was
it was-
after we saw the UFO, Dave had to go on stage and talk about wristbands. But for a split second, I was like, is he going to go on stage and tell everyone he saw a UFO? And I leaned over to Jill and I was like, please don't tell me he's going to go on stage and yell at everybody about a UFO and their families and try to tell them to have a good time but pay up. But like,
Because I would totally do that. I would totally do that. I'd be like, hey, there was a UFO, but you know what? Pay up. Ain't nothing free in this world.
Apparently there's
I
some,
shake people down at our events.
You do.
I shake
so
them down.
There's some.
you need to,
There's some
though.
people.
Yeah, we do.
There's some people in the community that are having that problem, and I was like,
Come
well,
on.
if Dave was
Come
in
on.
charge, you wouldn't have that fucking problem.
Dude, hey, what's the deal with other venues crying about? They're like, oh my goodness, we gotta charge something. Like, do it. Cover your costs. Cover your costs. And you know what?
inflation
like,
hits venues too, bro. Inflation hits venues.
$5
Yes,
is not
for
that
real,
much.
for
five,
real.
$5 is not that much.
$5 is not
No.
$2.
Yeah.
$2.
We'll talk about
you
that in
know,
a minute.
Lords of Film. All
right, let's talk about it right
That's
now.
a different conversation.
Well, from the time
I
that we
think
did that
should-
other
I'm
one.
not gonna say anything.
Well, from the time we did that other one, we hadn't done the first
That was
Lords
the
of Film
week
at
of.
the 806.
Yeah, Lords of
Collective.
Film. That was amazing. That
So
was
you guys
such a
did
good
that.
turnout. It was
Pizza,
a decent
beer.
turnout. Pizza and beer.
It was awesome.
I was very happy with that.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I had such a great time too. It was
Dope
really
movie.
cool.
When's the next
Really
one?
cool.
This will be out before then, hopefully.
Yeah, when's the next one?
August 8th. We are
Okay.
watching
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now.
And 2 weeks.
13 days as of today. 28 days
13
later.
We should
Danny
have.
Boyle.
We should have a countdown. And do that as a promo.
Can't we set that as an event and you can like add the countdown and stuff?
Yeah, you
We'll
can
talk
put-
about it
yeah.
after. We'll talk about it after. But yeah,
28 days later.
We'll cook that up. We'll start.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian
Yeah.
Murphy for 2 freaking doll hairs. Come watch 28 Days
Dude.
Beer
Later
and
at Cast
pizza,
Studio
and
C.
the only people
I'm
drinking
so
beer there
pumped.
was me.
You'll get
So
a
there's plenty of
curated
beer.
playlist. You'll get a cool pre-show. You'll get some cool trivia.
Hey, everyone,
You get pizza, some
BYOB,
drink.
BYOBs. I don't know about the pizza. Are we doing the
Well,
pizza again?
If we need to, we can.
We need to charge more money than $2.
That
All right,
was
let's talk about that after.
that was
I'm
for
sorry.
the that
I
was for
get-
the first one.
They're just saying, oh,
Like
So
this is just
well,
testing the water. We can't do
the
free
flyer's
pizza and
already
beer
out.
for $2. Because if I saw $2 for pizza and beer, I would be there emptying that place. But
Yeah.
that was for like grand opener
I
shit.
drank
But
a bunch of
Yeah,
beer.
it was
Oh,
such
sorry.
a great
Well,
time.
that
I had
is
such
not-
a great time.
Hey,
we had
it-
so much leftover beer too.
no, we didn't.
No, 'cause
We
it's-
did?
No, we didn't.
Hell
Bradley
no.
took it home. There was like 8 beers.
Me and Bradley drank.
One pizza. No one wanted to eat.
Yeah, there
the
was
one
like
slice.
one slice
72
left.
slices
I
of
ate the
pizza.
second to last slice.
Oh
Yeah,
my
gang,
gosh.
gang.
Me and Bradley drank
Hell
all
yeah.
that beer.
No,
that's what it was there for.
But yeah,
yeah.
that was so much fun.
Pizza and
I'm
beer
gonna
was
say it again.
great.
That was so.
It was
much
so
fun.
great.
That's why I wanted to have that.
I
and-
want to do that.
Yeah,
I just want to do it. I want to have a good time.
We should talk to the fans and be like, "Do you want to keep this cheap because we can't have pizza and beer, or if y'all want to pay $5 or $6, then we can keep the pizza and beer rolling." I guess we should
Yeah.
just talk to the people there and see what they want to do.
Yeah, we'll cut all this out. I did not know that wasn't part of the deal, so we'll cut that part out.
Leave
no,
it in.
yeah, no, leave it in.
Leave it in. We
Leave it
already
in.
sent the
It's
flyer.
great
It's already
conversation.
going.
And honestly, like, you know, for other people that are like working venues and stuff,
This real shit.
Yeah.
just be straight up. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, house
it's okay.
shows.
Yeah, house shows and everything. You know, we're all like in cahoots.
Yeah.
You know,
If
we
you pay
want
more
the
money,
best
we can
scene
get a
ever.
popcorn
We want to
machine.
have such a great time. Everybody needs to have a great time. But you know, if somebody doesn't have the funds, just be like, all right, yo, just I got you, dude.
It's
You
funny
know?
because
it's way better to
Just give me a
be that
kiss.
way.
Yeah.
And then you know what? You got a loyal
I'm saying he
loyal
should say that, not
friggin'
me.
friend every single time. That dude's gonna be at that venue every single time, and you're gonna make your money back. You know,
it's for those people though.
it's
That's why we
way
do
better.
it. It's-
Yes,
yeah.
it's for those people.
Th-
but
this-
the people that can pay should pay. You know,
This whole renaissance going on right now with Lubbock
Yeah,
art, which
we're
everyone
having
should
such
be so
a great
thankful for,
time.
like to keep the boat, like to keep the
Keep
ship
it
sailing.
going.
We have to invest more into ourselves because I've watched this trend come and go in this city several
Yeah.
times, and I don't want to lose it this time because what's taking off right now can definitely have its weight in 5 or 10 years. With everyone's art involved in
You're-
any medium right here.
you're-
And people
You
don't
know,
understand how good it
ultimately-
is right now. They don't understand that I've never seen this many things going on at once in this town.
Thank you.
Ever.
hey,
trying to
networking
say
is
that.
not a handshake and a business
Yeah.
card. It's a friendship. Like you got to go to that
Shit.
person
Yeah.
and say to them, like, you know what? Like, get invested in what they're doing, And look, down the road, it's like just like us, you know? This is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
We got Lords of Film, and then like, dude, you just emceed an event.
And
Where the
You know what I mean?
UFOs were.
Yeah, UFOs, yeah, totally. So, I mean, it's just like, you know, there's opportunities. It's what I said at the last podcast. You know, we need to create our own opportunities here. You know? And like, you know what? We can't be looking for outside sources. We can have the best scene.
There's plenty here.
There's plenty here. We can have a good time here.
yeah.
There's plenty of talent here.
If there's anything,
There's
I have
plenty of people
learned
having a good
from
time here.
Being involved in
Yeah.
this podcast is Lubbock does not lack in the talent or
It's not boring
in
at
the
all.
resources.
Hell no, it's not
All
boring.
kinds. Everyone's
So-
everyone's serving the tea.
Why-
It's
Bored, that's on
great.
you, brother.
why did it die? Why has I seen this wave hit 2 or 3
It
times?
came, you know, you
Do
remember,
you think it, do you
you
think it
remember
is like a little
Middle
elitism,
Child
a little
Records,
bit of
right?
gatekeeping,
I think it's-
a little bit of famine mentality?
Same thing
So-
happened to Middle
It's the,
Child
fam-
Records.
it's the famine mentality.
Feast and
This-
famine.
Yes. Okay. So this kind of has to do with why I think we need to keep things rolling even harder. Is that it's hard to start things new, and when something goes for a while and the scene fades and the trends die, nothing is solidified. That thing will die with it too. So that's why if you can get through the drought and you can make it stay, that staple will always be
Bro.
there. If you want to
Yeah.
start over new after the next trend comes on in 5 years, then fine. But if something stays solid and you have like your idea and your message, and
That's
you keep
why
to it, it'll be great. And
I'm so
I don't want
grateful
to see
for
it die this time. I
Wrong
don't.
Side. I'm so grateful for
Yeah.
Wrong Side and Atrium. I'm so grateful for the scenes and us included. Like
Yeah.
we all try to have, we maintained the momentum of keeping those events going. You know, keeping events going even during the summer, you know, because now we got our core. You know, now like people are going to be joining us
Yeah.
for that. You know, we all know how to have a good time.
It's those events that keep people
You know?
in the city. We
Yeah,
watch people.
we wanna keep
move
people-
away.
It's,
Yeah.
like,
wasn't.
it's created like a little hub where it's just
Yeah.
like those are
Yeah.
the places to be. Like those are just the
Why did
places
the
to
past
be.
artists leave? Because the art died, and they're still
Yeah.
artists. So
'Cause
they have
they're
to go
lame.
create somewhere here. They can't tough it
Dude,
out.
and
No, they
honestly,
can't. They-
we have
they
the
have-
best
they have to
First
create
Friday
their
in the
own shit.
United
They
States.
have
I
to
can't
push their
I
own
can't
shit.
blame them and I can't hate on them.
Yeah,
Like,
I
but
understand.
there's some
Our
of us here that are
community
going to be
shows
here.
up.
There's
Yeah.
going to be some of us that are. And let me tell you a
We
story.
got some real,
I
we
was
got
trying
some
to,
real homies.
I was
in
trying
this
to. I'm not gonna
community.
say weird, but I was trying to throw out some posters for y'all's first show, and this guy was like, "Well, we're doing our own," and I was like, "What does that matter, man? We'll promote y'all. Can
Yeah.
you not promote us?"
Why is
That
that?
that right there is why.
Gatekeeping
shit.
too.
Same,
Fuck
that same
gatekeeping.
place, there were
You know?
four Lords of Film stickers posted, and all of them were ripped off, like torn.
Hey, ain't nobody like gatekeeping.
I've had my
is
shit ripped off
not
too, though.
cool. Like I don't care if I even
You
do
know
that
who
in the
you
chat.
are.
If I hear about
You're
an
listening. You know
opportunity,
who you are.
That's
yeah,
why,
you know, if you're a gatekeeper, we see you.
Man,
But,
I'm nice. I'm fucking nice to y'all.
She's super
yeah,
nice to him,
in
not
our
me.
group
Fucking
chat,
cool
I'm always
shit.
sharing opportunities. Like, hey,
Yeah.
there's this.
That's why I stayed out of the
Yeah.
Lubbock art scene for so long. Was the gatekeeping
Yeah,
up its
fuck
own
all that.
aspect of it, and I was like, okay, I have to wait for the right opportunity, or I'm gonna get shut down, or create my own thing.
You know
And
what? It doesn't
again,
matter.
Just toughed it out and kept building, and finally now during this renaissance, I'm able to thrive and get my neck out there. And
Here's-
shit.
here's my
killing it.
philosophy
I love
on
your
that.
fucking
Thank you.
work.
Thank you.
I fucking
I love your
your
work too, man.
It means a lot. Like it really
Shout
does.
out
Thank
to
y'all.
y'all.
Shout out
doing
to
y'all's
Dirty
shit.
South.
Shout out to both of y'all
It's
doing
my
y'all's
boy
thing.
right
Shout out to
there.
all y'all.
What y'all are
But,
doing. We
you
owe a
know,
lot.
here's my
we owe a
mentality.
lot this summer to what y'all are doing. So
Yeah.
shout out to y'all guys, man. For
It
real.
is what it is. You know, ain't nothing. But
And we gonna
hey, it's
keep
only
doing
gonna be
shit.
bigger
We
and
gonna
better.
keep
You know what I
doing
mean?
shit, y'all.
We're gonna
Let's just
keep doing
going.
shit.
Don't let it stop.
You know?
Yeah, it
Cheers
won't.
to
We
It won't.
Cheers to that.
hey, you know,
We're done.
no,
Clank,
I'm gonna
clank,
get
clank.
pop
Get
another one.
one. All right, all
Pop
right.
another one.
Me and my
Cheers.
Fanta.
Here, Jen.
That's,
Drink your last
Uh-huh.
Pantera beer.
Hey, Jesus.
hey, this Pantera beer is actually pretty good.
Okay.
Golden Ale 5.4.
It's really great.
Percent out.
I
Okay.
liked it.
You're a Pantera girl. You drink
Everyone's
it.
favorite Pantera song.
I haven't
New
even
level.
listened to Pantera. I didn't even know they had a beer.
Domination. Primal Concrete Sledge.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
And Goddamn Electric. Specifically, Goddamn Electric when I was a teenager.
Okay. Salud.
Okay.
Cheers.
Salute.
I'm not
We
even a
see
Pantera
this.
fan like that.
We see them in a month. Less than a month.
Y'all are going to that?
Yes.
Are you going for the
Both.
2-day or both day?
Both days, and then in between.
Did y'all win a
Fugitive
lotto
is
ticket or
playing.
something? Like I saw those
Fugitive
ticket
is playing.
prices.
Take-
Holy
take-
shit.
Basically, kind of. My mother bought the tickets. I'm not gonna lie, but I was like, I'll pay you back.
Dude, we're gonna be in the pits.
You know, we were
I get to see
talking about.
Pantera.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Arlington.
didn't they add a bunch of openers to it too recently or
Well, on
something?
the in-between day, that's Saturday, I know Fugitive is headlining 200 Stab Wounds.
There you go. That's the thing
But-
I saw.
You know, I'm gonna be in
But
there.
to be fair,
It's the fucking Cowboys
for me
Stadium.
and
It's
for me and
sick.
her and 2 shows was only $800. It's not
You're getting a lot out of that.
For
You're right. I
$800,
shouldn't
that's
bitch
not
about
That's
bad.
what we
so
paid
much.
for Sick New World.
it's not bad for 2
Okay.
days. But we have to get extra tickets to that Saturday show. But that was
Yeah,
$40.
Gotcha.
Flexing on his girl. Like,
I'm just saying, it's
Dude,
like for
have
$800
fun.
bucks.
It ain't not that,
That
big a
sounds
deal.
sick. Are y'all going to the
$800,
Acacia
It
Strain?
ain't that big a deal.
What the hell is that?
Yeah,
Acacia Strain in a
for
month, and we got
Judiciary.
Cradle of Filth
Yeah.
in October.
You know I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, I'll be there for that.
I was literally talking about that Monday. Cradle of Filth, fucking Devil Driver, and El Nino.
That's the other. Why does Lubbock have the biggest El Nino following? El
I don't
Nino
know.
comes through here so
No,
much,
Lubbock
bro.
gets stupidly passionate for El
Dude,
Nino.
no, I love it. I love it. Like, it's just crazy. It's just one of those, like, my friend's dad is really into El Nino, and every time they come to town, I'll troll and be like, I know where your dad's at tonight.
We've been pretty blessed to make friends with Izzy from Judiciary.
Love
Yeah.
him.
So I'm trying to. I met the drummer through him, so I'm trying to get him on the pod when they come here. So
That's
hopefully we
sick.
can make that happen. Time might be a factor. Well, time is a factor, but if we can make some time, we're gonna
You
get
might
him
have
on.
to
That's
come
it.
to them. You
Well,
know?
that's what me and him been talking about. That damn hat.
Are you gonna do, like, band interviews, like, or anything like that soon? Or,
I would prefer to sit down and talk to one of them.
Okay.
And Izzy will not come on for some reason, even though we're friends.
Damn.
Shy.
Even though we're
I
friends.
think he's shy.
But the drummer was down if they have time. So you guys, hopefully that happens whenever they come, whatever month that is. We can get that.
September.
We can get
Gotcha.
that.
First week of September.
Very cool dudes.
Yeah.
Very
I'll
cool
be out
dudes.
there.
Shout out Izzy.
I was there at their show in March, April.
At the Garden.
Yes, that show
That's
was
cool.
really good.
I was fighting for my life up there.
The one thing I'll say about this show is, there's a lot of pushing and shoving, and I could push and shove everybody, but there was one motherfucker, and he's right here.
Who's that?
Some real shit.
10.
I did feel the ground shake, and I was like tapping. I don't know if you guys heard. I was like, what was that? I felt the ground shake, so I don't know.
Is there, like, power out on the street anywhere or anything like
No,
that?
I would have been powered.
And you
in
know
here.
what? I haven't heard anything from the FBI or the CIA.
Experience crazy.
They owe me
or-
$20.
Yeah, they owe me some money
They owe
too.
me
Another
$20.
weird experience. What was I saying?
I haven't heard
Shout out
anything
Judiciary.
from them,
Oh.
so I
Shout out
think
to
I
them.
think
Shout out
they're just gonna
Judiciary.
let it ride.
Oh, what I was saying is
They're gonna let it ride.
we were in the mosh pit at Judiciary, and I was pushing and shoving, and there's one guy I couldn't fucking move, and it's Chase. I just couldn't. He's like a brick wall. He's like a brick wall. You're the only guy that would not move.
It's because I was, like, 10 beers deep and just a solid,
Just
like,
like-
You're so
In
rock
long
of
at
liquor.
that
In the
point.
tunnel.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Or-
That was that was
That
a
was
fun
such a
show.
fun
Yeah,
show. That was
I haven't
such a
seen
fun
a show
set.
like that in Lubbock in a long time.
Hold
and
on.
that was
Here's
really
here's
cool.
his vehicle pulling up.
That's the neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're all good. We're all.
I would literally just go to the bathroom and not come back out. Somebody else
That was weird. Because, like you said, there's a pale man just walking up in this garage. Yeah. And after we've been talking about what we've been talking about.
Woo!
Do y'all remember when that earthquake hit Midland, like last year? Or this year,
I
maybe?
wasn't in town
This
for
year.
that.
Fracking.
I felt it here.
Fracking. That's what caused it.
I felt it. It was weird.
What's funny on that Skinwalker Ranch show, they've picked up like some seismic activity on the show, and it was just us fracking like down the road, like 5 minutes.
Son of a bitch.
There's some oil down there.
Oh yeah. What's really funny is they gave that land to the Native Americans, being like, "Oh, this is ugly as shit. You can keep it." And then all of a sudden, they found a shit ton of oil on there, so the Native Americans get like untaxed.
They made
oil.
a. They
It's
made
like the
a.
movie.
Yeah, it's
coming out.
crazy.
They made a movie about it.
The Scorsese movie coming out.
Yeah.
That's
What is
that's-
his next movie?
It's about that situation. They gave
Killers
the,
of the Flower Moon?
yeah they gave the
that
Native
what it's
Americans Oklahoma.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's a lot of oil there.
Yeah.
So
That
Yeah,
comes out in
half of that
December,
state
right?
of Oklahoma still belongs to the Native American people.
Dude.
Half
gave
of
it-
that
Good
state
weed.
still does. They did not honor that treaty.
I've been
You
watching
know.
a lot of Yellowstone.
You know, I'm not a fan of Oklahoma.
Dude,
you
that
know?
place
You're in
sucks.
Texas,
Fuck Tulsa.
Bro,
obviously.
that
I
place
They
went
sucks.
there.
bombed that shit. You
I only
remember
went there
that?
once.
I used to
You
say,
watched the video about that they made?
What?
They bombed out a whole black community.
Oh,
there.
Black Tuesday?
Bombed them
Damn.
with planes. Literally, like, just full on race war.
Yeah, that was in the 20s, right?
Yeah. It was
They
like
had-
1912.
Was it that private Pinkerton army shit? They like.
Oh, they had their
it
own-
was, no,
they
it
had
was
their own-
National Guard.
Okay.
They had
It's
their own
even
like
worse.
thriving city, and then they just ruined
Yeah,
it.
and you know what?
Jesus.
The descendants and everybody involved, they got fucked over.
Go
good.
watch
They
Watchmen, the
got
TV
fucked
show.
over good.
That's,
Dude.
it shows that the Watchmen TV show shows that.
What's your opinion on that Watchmen TV show?
I loved it.
You loved it?
I loved
The
it.
Watchmen.
Okay.
Did you like it?
I just rewatched the movie, the full one, and then I only
movie's
watched
long
the
as
first
shit.
like couple.
Well, it kinda-
I'm gonna say four,
But it's
dude,
good.
Maybe 3 episodes of the Watchmen series, and I was super like mixed about it.
It corrects what the movie got wrong.
It did it though? Like, did
There's-
it make? Okay, you overcorrected something, but did you really make something that was good
Your
art?
shirt.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah. Shout out to Alex. Give up. I'm giving
It's
up.
cool.
It's a really cool.
Hell
I like
yeah.
to see
Houston.
pictures like that.
Yeah.
But
Cheers,
yeah,
Alex.
I really did like the show.
What's coming out that you're looking forward to? Like, obviously that new Scorsese movie. Isn't it Michael Mann making like a Ferrari or something movie with Adam Driver? Okay. Any good horror movies coming out soon that for this Halloween season?
Talk to
Exorcist,
Me is this week.
Yeah,
the new
Talk to Me.
Exorcist trilogy. will
Believer.
start. Yeah, Exorcist Believer.
Oh.
That's gonna be cool. I think.
What's the premise of that one?
Is
or
it based off of
So-
the books?
I guess. Well,
I read the books.
It's a sequel to the
I watched the
first one.
teaser, which I normally don't do trailers, but I
Yeah.
mean, I'm curious. So, two children go missing. They get found. They're strange after they're found. They're possessed. The mom from The Exorcist, from the original, seeks them out to help them, and yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see, but it looks.
Oh.
You know, I'm just happy to see
Yeah.
that shit come back. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay
Yeah.
with it.
What
I'm
was your
open.
opinion on Exorcist 2 and 3?
3 is fucking
3?
nuts.
3
No.
is nuts.
Three
nuts.
is one of my favorite films. I think it's one of the greatest thrillers ever
Yep.
made.
It's a crime noir, bro. Like
I think
Shout out to you
I
for
gotta
putting me on
watch
it.
it.
I did
Yeah,
an
I gotta watch
episode
that.
on
I've
it,
never
didn't
seen
I?
it.
I
Even
think I-
that-
I think I did a
didn't
Lord's
it?
episode.
We
I
did
love
an
noirs.
episode on it.
that what was it? That early 2000s one's Exorcist Beginnings or something like that.
Okay,
And
that one was a
good.
cool ass prequel.
It was hated when it came out, but I came back to it like a couple years later, and I was
No,
like,
that
"This
one's
is solid."
fucking good, and the way it ties in is really good. And what's okay, this does not get enough praise, but the TV show from Fox, the Exorcist TV series on Fox.
When was this?
This was like 2013, 2014.
Yeah,
Damn.
it wasn't all for very long.
It's only 2 seasons long.
Yeah,
maybe
they were
3.
like, yeah.
But you know what? It ties in directly with the first film.
Good. I'll have to
God.
check. I didn't even know
I
about
forgot.
that.
I just remembered how good number 3 is.
Yeah, no,
God.
number 3 is fucking amazing. It's eerie.
We
It's
should do that, Lords of Film.
It's a
Please,
whodunit. It really
please.
is.
Lords
It's
of Film.
one of the most dark whodunits. Like I love it. It's one of my favorite films to watch. That's
I love a
comfort movie.
whodunit.
If you want
It was
to
like
talk
a-
comfort film, that's a
On
comfort
Twitter,
film.
there was recently a re-emergence of that scene.
the
scary scene.
jump scare
The scary
with
scene.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm not a
damn,
fan of
fuck.
jump scares.
You know what I'm looking forward to though? Napoleon. Jesus
Napoleon.
fucking A.
Dude. Phoenix, bro.
God damn,
Who
man.
directed it again?
Walking Phoenix.
Ridley Scott.
Ridley
all damn
Scott.
day.
Ooh.
And really,
man.
Scott.
Brother, I
Damn.
went down when it came out, I was drunk.
Yeah.
The trailer. I went down
Yeah.
a rabbit hole of.
Did you like Kingdom of Heaven?
It's been a while since I've seen
Oh,
that.
dude,
but,
I have like the
I wanna
ultimate
watch
edition
it.
if you want
is
to
that
borrow
with
it. Orlando
Orlando
Bloom
Bloom,
and
yeah.
Liam Neeson.
Bro, the whole
Yeah.
Crusades is crazy to learn about.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
nuts.
The Crusades is crazy. You know, the Crusades was like, I think the Crusades were actually like, Holocaust before it was a Holocaust, because the first thing that they would do in Europe is hunt down all the Jews and
that a
in
history
towns
movie?
and just murder them.
Yeah.
And they would murder them
Kingdom
on
of
the
Heaven?
way
it's
to
about
Israel. It was
This
just
is
like
real.
it was like a big thing.
So the Crusades are
They
real.
like literally just
It was
like
just a
it was
power move.
it was a pre-Holocaust.
I think it was
To
a
a
power
lot of
move by
death.
the Pope just to secure
was just a
like
power move.
operational ports
Might
like
makes
around
right.
that area
It's
that
my
made it very
understanding
efficient
that,
for trade.
It's my understanding that the knights of the time were getting a lot more popular than the Pope. So he had to figure out a way to like control them.
Yeah.
But so they would take people from France
But
to
they were
Jerusalem.
also
What is this movie called? I know you're talking about a real
talking
event,
about the
but
Knights Templar.
Kingdom of Heaven.
Kingdom of
Okay.
Heaven.
The Knights Templar were also like the bankers
Yeah, they were making money when the Pope was like, "This is not cool."
because
Privatized military.
it used to be the case that compound interest is a sin. They used to consider it a sin because you were stealing from your future self. Right? That's why they considered it a sin. And that's what I might be just bullshitting right now, but I'm pretty sure that's what the Knights Templar was getting into. They were charging interest on the loans that they were giving the kings.
You also have to understand.
Yeah.
So like,
and then
these
they turned
Catholics-
around and they were like, all right, well, you know what? We're just going to kill them.
Well, the Catholics really wanted to go to Jerusalem as a holy pilgrimage.
Yeah.
And once they would get into these territories, the Muslims would literally like give us gold, and if they didn't like it, they would cut you open, thinking you swallowed gold
Oh, wow.
to protect your gold. Because when you traveled back then, you would travel with all your goods.
And you could,
So they needed protection, and so this knights would protect them going there, and then they got very popular, and the Pope was trying to maintain power, and the kings were trying to maintain
Yeah.
power, the Muslims were trying to maintain power. It was just this whole
I think
1,000 years
yeah,
of war.
I think it was a strategic move for the Catholic Church to secure those ports in that strategic area because that controlled most of the trade to all those areas for spice and slaves and everything. And obviously, the Catholic Church was like, "We want it. We want all of it." And so,
Well, now the
why not
police
do
are
it
over
for
here.
Christ?
Yeah,
Don't
that was
for
the
the
police.
Pope. Do it for
better
Christ.
put that weed up if y'all got any weed, by the way.
yeah, that was the police.
Obviously,
Must have been a gunshot.
Driving with the lights off?
Yeah, it must have been something happened over here.
She's scared.
If they come, then
now let's ask them if you've seen a UFO, bro.
we'll tell them.
Yeah.
It's best that they come. Now
Yeah.
there's two of them. No,
Another
doesn't
one?
come.
Yeah,
But no,
that's a
so
regular
Kingdom
Chevy.
of Heaven was the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should watch that.
Okay, y'all. Ever since I watched, what's the name of the film that I keep butchering?
Oppenheimer.
You saw it? Is it good?
Yes, I saw
Awesome.
it.
Awesome.
Yes, it
It's
is.
awesome.
I saw Barbie twice. Also good.
Awesome as well.
You know, I
10 of
made a
10.
stupid comment. I was just like, somebody should stand out in front of the Barbie where they're airing and just pull off Barbie doll heads, you know.
You did say
Like
that.
that's a good way to get your ass
You
beat.
go in
did
with
say
the
that,
tiara
yeah.
of Barbie doll head.
Just
No,
going
but
with the tiara Barbie
I
doll
was-
heads.
I think I was
Barbie
telling
doll
you
heads.
about it Monday, but ever since
Oh, you're good.
since watching that,
Gotta let
I-
girls have their moments.
I think I'm in my history movie era. Like I want to start watching more like war movies,
Historical stuff?
Yeah, like shit like that.
Perfect time for Kingdom of Heaven.
Yeah,
That's why I was
Saving
just
Private
like-
Ryan.
How,
Pearl Harbor.
How loud can we turn
Dunkirk,
up Black Hawk
Dunkirk.
Down? Another Ridley Scott movie. Black Hawk Down is war
Black Hawk
essential.
Down. Yes,
That's a wild movie.
Yeah.
And the history behind that's wild too.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
one
it's
really
so
graphic? I feel
stupid,
like that
too.
one's-
It's not graphic.
Because
Like,
a
it's not
lot of
that
the death
graphic.
was because of negligence. You know, it was just like soldiers not.
There's or is it Saving Private
Keeping their
Ryan?
plates in.
Saving Private Ryan's pretty
The
graphic.
best-
Okay, I feel like that
D-Day
one. I remember like
That's
brains
crazy.
being
Yeah.
blown out and shit.
I'm working
I
real
was
hard.
young
I'm
when I
working
saw
real
it.
hard right now to get a Vietnam vet on this pod. Would really like to talk to.
Another one.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah.
I have to
Something.
go pee.
With no lights on. Again, too.
Something happened in this area. There's two crackheads on this side and that side. So who knows what happened? Maybe a meth lab blew up in this area. I don't know.
It's the psyop, bro. They talking about
If
it.
they come and talk to us, who gives a
What
fuck?
if they're like Men in Black, like Ingrid Cold, Mothman cops, and they have
Well,
like weird
go live on
shoes?
your phone.
Oh, duh. No, my
Go
phone
live.
will break because that's what happens when you're near that stuff.
Something happened. Yeah, he probably called the cops. So something probably did happen.
He would, dude. He looked like a cop caller, you know? He came in, he was just like, I'll call the cops.
He's a preacher.
Sometimes.
He's also a preacher, so
Yeah.
he's keeping the peace. I don't know.
I applaud him.
I also think what makes this scene so good is we kind of self-police ourselves. Everyone's pretty much on their good behavior, you know?
For the most part,
Yeah, ain't nobody
good
doing
thing,
anything
though.
crazy.
Yeah.
you're right
yeah.
though. It is if,
You-
if somebody does you
Negative
call it-
energy sees its own way out, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
You have
Yeah.
the liberty to be
They'll
crazy.
do it to
just don't
themselves.
Violate other people and stuff.
What?
I said we have the liberty to be crazy, which is a beautiful thing, but obviously don't
Yeah.
violate other people. It's learning
Yeah.
that
Some
gray
people
area.
get
now.
some people get weird with it, but
Yeah.
yeah, they've been casted out.
Push
Thank
those gray
God.
lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. But it's nothing but good vibes
It's been
for
nothing
the
but good
for the
vibes.
for the whole summer, anyways.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed everything.
I've had
We've
a
had
pretty
like a
good
pretty
summer.
good, solid, even spring was pretty good.
Well, the
Spring
whole
was
year,
good, too.
pretty much.
It's been like steady growth.
Yeah.
Steady growth.
This is the longest I've actually been in one place in years. since I've quit my oil field job, and it
Dude,
feels
even the
great.
collective
It
has
feels
been like
great. Like I've never, like I said again, I'm back in Lubbock, and you have shit going on every fucking weekend. Dope.
There's
And I
something
can be
happening.
part of it?
You
Dope.
know, the people that say there ain't nothing to do here, shut the fuck up. There's plenty to do here.
Clip it.
2014
Lip
to
it.
2017,
Shut
there
it.
wasn't shit to do here. There was a house show like 4 times a
2010
year.
to
and, like,
2017, they want shit to do here.
Nah, it died at
There was-
2013.
in 2013, yeah.
2010 and 2014, it was still popping. We
Oh,
had
yeah.
Grandma's House, the Meat Locker, Monster
Meat
House.
Locker,
We had
yes.
all those places.
Dude,
missed all
Middle
of
Child
that.
Records was a big bump. Like, things were cool, and then it just
R.I.P.
bumped
Marcus
up.
Chaffa. That's
R.I.P..
To me, that's like the swan
never
song.
knew him.
Marcus Chaffa was a swan song of that whole scene. Was like when he
Yeah.
passed away. It's debatable whether it was an accident or suicide, but rest in peace, Marcus Chaffa. But he had that Middle Child Record scene going on, and when he
Yes.
died, within about a year or so, it just seemed like everything had
He
trickled off.
he
with it.
literally
Everything was weird and
had the
tainted.
blueprint on how a
Yeah.
scene could be.
He honed it in.
He honed it in.
Yeah, he kept the shows going. He kept the records.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Just cool
Yeah.
vibes.
And we watched, that was the day the music died for that. Like,
Yeah.
that whole era kind of died with
Yeah,
that.
that whole era.
And I haven't seen it. And like I said, it came back 2017.
Wait.
It took 3 or 4
You know,
years.
it's
I'm
not
gonna-
even my place to speak on it. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know him. But
Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go piss, but can you explain this to me after I pee?
Yeah.
What you're talking about?
we're
Okay,
talking
cool.
about old scene shit.
Yeah, but this guy that you're talking
Marcus
about.
Chapa. Yeah,
let's-
handle it.
I might not be able to finish this, so Dave might have to drink after.
Yeah, I got you.
Talk to me about this fella that you just
Handle
mentioned.
Man, I wish I was closer in his circle, but this is just from like an outsider perspective. There was a guy named Marcus Chapa. He ran this Middle Child Records here in Lubbock. This is a decade ago, and all the local acts were in it. I'm gonna shout out some old bands like 50 Foot Eyesore, Numerators, and this is before like the Royals. Once called Ghost, Voice Day Harp. I mean, there was a thriving scene here that is completely gone now. That there's no trace of really, except for people like us that can still speak
Yeah.
of it and that influence us to do what we're doing now. But
I can only speak of it. I have no.
This guy,
I didn't
could
experience
see
that.
on the horizon. Like, if I can hone this in and get something like a following going and solidify something, it'll never die. And it died with him, and I feel like that was just like a
Yes.
tragedy, like another tragedy of like the Lubbock music scene.
He
Just
passed
like,
away for real?
yeah, he passed away. I don't know if it was a
Marcus
suicide or I don't know, but it was a sad passing, and like there was even little snippets of Choppa Fest for the next following year or two. I think
You
one of the
remember
first
Choppa
one-
Fest? No.
That was at my house, the Meat Locker.
Yeah.
this old venue we had back. in
I
the day. But
remember
The
the
Meat Locker.
I don't even know
I
the meat
moved
locker.
in that house.
I
That
haven't
was
heard
my
that
house.
name in forever.
I moved in there.
Hey,
and
you
then we-
remember sweating in that freaking basement?
that basement
yeah,
was haunted.
we sweated out.
That basement had
We
a
made it
succubus
happen.
in it. That basement had a succubus in it, and it would eat your
Dude,
fucking
I would
soul.
go
So many
over
people
there with
have
Peter.
nightmare stories about that basement, about
my
having
God.
to crawl out of that place in
There's
the
a
dark.
bunk bed in the basement too.
Dude, that bunk bed.
Hell yeah.
When Clay and Justin were sleeping
Clay
on
and
that bunk
Justin,
bed, dude,
yes.
in that corner, dude,
yeah.
I would get off work and walk down there and just like mosh in the corner while he was like rolling a joint, and like it was just wild. Like I've missed those. I missed
Dude.
that stuff. That basement had a lot of memories to it. You talked to a lot of.
It was a
old
a
heads
cool
about it.
vibe, man. And honestly,
Apparently,
we
Black
would
Flag
fill
played there.
up.
KTXT used to live in that house or something, and Black Flag played there in like the 80s or the 90s or some
Nice.
shit. That's some of the old lore before, because one day some old head shows up to the show and was like, "Yeah, I came to Black Flag here like 15 years ago and worked for KTXT," and we're just like, he's like, "Who moved in now?" And I was like, "I saw it on Facebook," and then moved in the next day, and we had no idea it already had local lore.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Succubus basement.
Dude, shout out to filling up the dumpsters with bottles.
Dude, that first show we had,
Yes.
I filled up the dumpster 3 times with bottles. I found like an ounce of weed, about $300, and some cocaine in my front yard. There was a drum circle going on in the driveway, someone playing acoustic on the porch while like I think Rattlesnake Milk or something was playing in the basement. That was
Shout
our
out to them.
first show. Shout out Rattlesnake Milk. Love those
Yeah.
guys.
Shout out them.
Eric, Sean.
It was a little hairy back
Chancho,
then, you
love
know.
you guys.
Holy shit.
It's pretty vanilla now, you know, but ain't nothing wrong with vanilla. Wink, wink.
Favorite ice cream flavor? Go, Dave.
Chocolate. I'm a chocolate bitch. I love
Roy,
chocolate
favorite
chips.
ice
We
cream?
can keep it simple. I'm gonna say vanilla. I like.
Vanilla.
I don't like it.
I love vanilla
I don't like
too.
it. I don't like making it weird.
Hey,
Cookies and cream or wedding cake.
standard.
Oh, cookie dough.
Cookie dough. Okay. Rocky Road with no nuts.
I don't know. If I eat ice cream, if I eat ice cream, I'm shitting my brains out. I can't eat ice cream.
You know, my favorite reel right now is the Twilight one, and Bella's like, "I'm gonna come," and then Edward's like, "I don't want you to come." It's like that's my favorite one. I gotta look it up. It's
You
so
made me think
fucking
of the
funny,
scary
dude.
movie scene where the dude
It
jizzes
is
in the
so
freezer
funny.
and it's like, bleh.
Oh, that's number 2, right?
This sounds like, like Scary Movie 4 making fun of Twilight or something.
What are you watching, brother?
No, it's oh my god,
What's
it
the
is
Twilight
a reel.
softcore?
Jesus,
All right. On that subject, Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Team Edward, all the way.
Jacob.
And hindsight, now that I'm an adult woman, fuck both of them because they're both insane. But it was Team Jacob.
Yeah, as an adult, you look at that and you're like, oh my god, that guy's grooming that poor girl.
Both of them are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then
ever-
Bella was
I got a
dumb
little
as
native in me,
shit.
so I'll say.
She really
He's
was
117 years old. What the fuck? Why is he? What is he doing talking to a 17-year-old
Well,
girl?
you know,
Do you
consent
think
wasn't a thing
Do you
till like
think
10
that
years ago.
like Twilight finale where they have the thought battle in their head and he rips the head off? That was like the biggest 180 in the cinema, kind of as of recently.
LOL, yeah.
It was like one of those
I was
spoilers that
there.
like you have to see the ending,
I was there
but
when
don't
it
ruin
premiered. I
it.
took my little cousin, and she like fucking started crying. And
I
was
thought
just
that
like-
was stupid.
Yeah, I remember being like, "Damn,
They-
that didn't
they-
happen
they
in the
could-
book, Jasmine. My bad." And then it like,
You had such a weird people being like, "Oh my god!" Some people being like, "No,
no, I remember hearing
weak."
Never watched any of them. So.
like, like ripped his shit off his little eye.
First one was directed by a UT student.
Even more reason not to watch any of them. Fuck that.
Are you a saw him off guy?
Am I what?
Are you a saw him off guy?
Yeah, man. What the fuck? Come on now. Oh gosh. Anyways, I never seen any of them though. But
Well, studio,
the pool thing they did.
the goth pool party.
Yeah,
hear
I
anything about
saw.
it?
I saw the
Was it
videos
good?
of it. There was a
sounded fun. It
turnout. There
sounded
was a
fun.
turnout, and it did look fun.
It sounded fun, but we had something to do.
You know,
Only
like,
Oppenheimer
Okay.
and Barbie.
You know, I think we need to be good
But the weather
neighbors
was
and go
good.
talk to her and like figure out like maybe we can do an event together. You know.
See,
You know, but she's also on
Collaboration
her
is-
own thing. But collaboration is always, hey, I'd much rather if there's a way that I can like pull you a seat to the same table that I'm at, I'm gonna do it.
We can chit chat about that after.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've
like,
had a
hey,
few
you
and I
could
don't wanna
sit here
speak
and
out
eat
of
with
line.
me too.
I'm not gonna speak out
You know?
line after I've had a few, but yeah.
But honestly,
If you're going to collab,
You
that
can't
would-
watch
I've been
two
wanting to
movies
say
at
this.
once.
You
Here's
and
my
I are on the
philosophy.
same page. I just don't.
Here's my philosophy.
Collab?
If I'm
Yeah.
even if I'm not in the room, if I'm in the room and I'm just watching the table, I'm gonna build my own chair and pull up a seat.
I tried.
And you know what? Like, and look, and if it becomes an issue, me sitting at that table, I'm gonna build my own damn table. You know?
I think that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
we
And,
built our own
uh,
table, brother.
And you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
it's
Ain't
fine.
nothing wrong with that.
It's not.
You know, no hard feelings. It's just business.
Yeah,
You know, but I'm gonna do it. But tell you what, if you bring me a seat to the table, I'm gonna be forever grateful. I'm gonna be forever loyal to that idea. You know, I'm like, hey, you're looking out for me. I'm gonna look out for you.
So
But if not, I'm gonna start working in the wood shop. I'm gonna figure it
I
out.
can't tell people how to live and think, but I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think that it's like beneficial for you guys to go to her shit and her to go to your shit.
don't
Us-
don't
It's
make our
always best
don't
to
make
add.
our differences why we
You know,
can't
or
be
we
friends.
all go to-
yeah,
Like,
there's
we need
we
to-
all-
there are no differences.
I've seen that with the
There's
Lubbock
not
art
much
community
differences.
of like
There
it
really
will eat
isn't.
it. It'll eat
No, there
itself
really
alive.
isn't.
There's no.
Yeah.
We're all Lubbockites.
Yeah,
Let's all do
we're all
this.
here. We're like all, and you know, it's in the clause. We gotta be good neighbors, you know. And
That's what Jesus preached.
But,
man.
Sam-
but you're in a place
Sam
called
was a-
Texas, and people are very prideful, and
Yeah.
like that's the thing of like
I
you
get
got
it.
this
so
young blood clashing with the
territorial
old
and
standards.
gatekeepy. not her in particular, but
no, I'm not.
just in general,
know her,
people
so I
are
can't
so
speak on her.
cliquey and gatekeepy, and you know, I'm gonna fight over this dollar whenever there's a honey pot waiting for everybody. You know,
Yeah.
you know, feast or famine, right? Like we've been talking about. I have a feast mentality. You know, like if there's an opportunity for me to like plug, you know, the people that fuck with me, I'm gonna do that. I don't give a fuck. You know,
I'm always
like
in
look
famine.
out
I'm always
for your
hungry.
people. Be a back scratcher.
I'm always hungry, bro.
Be hungry.
Yeah, I stay hungry, dude.
And honestly,
I think
like
you can
if
be
you
both.
have an idea and
Balance,
you're not, let's say you have you're an artist or a creative. You have an idea, but you don't know how to get to the point to fulfill. You don't know how to get there. Like ask around, network. That's what networking is for. Find the person that can solve the problem.
But what if
Rather
the-
than
what
saying
if the
I can solve your
people-
problem, being like I can find if I can't solve your problem, I can find the person that can.
What if the people that have been giving those answers have been gatekeeping the scene? And
You know,
how
like,
much do
how
you-
are we gonna
how
learn how
much
to
do you
fill out
be
grants?
Punk rock, but play by the rules.
I think it's
to
over.
get
know?
there?
I think that's over now. though.
That's what I'm saying.
I
It's
don't
over. It's
know, man.
demolished.
I've
That's
had
what we're doing.
I've
We've
had personal
smashed-
conversations.
We've smashed this overhead
That's
thinking
over
of
now.
yeah,
I
it
don't
is,
know.
and that's why we get these
I think
people at
so.
the studio and these shows. It's over.
I think it's over.
That's why we can't keep the fucking.
I do
have to
think we
keep it
broke
going
the
'cause
seal
I
with
think
this
the
with this
second
UFO
it ends,
video.
The second it ends, those old rules seep right back in because they can outlast those trends and those phases that this place goes through. But if we keep this going, we won't lose that ground. Keep fighting for
Yeah,
it.
and I'll speak from me. Like you can be out for yourself and still have that community and that group thing.
There's nothing wrong.
There's
like
nothing wrong for trying to
it's
do
okay.
your thing, right?
It's o-
Yeah.
But
You know what? Don't be foolishly compassionate. Like take care of yourself first,
exactly.
and then when you have room to toss a bone to your boy, do it. That's the first thing you do. Look out for your people.
But you had to work really hard to get there. And what is your opinion on artists these days wanting instant gratification and instant following
Dude,
and
like-
stuff for minimal work?
You know.
We're watching that happen with like AI
I'm-
art
I'm
and like
popping
social
off
media and
with
stuff.
that.
but
They fade off very quickly.
Yeah,
that
and
was a
Roy-
fluke accident.
Roy's with his grinding and his podcast is
Right.
like something admirable.
Just
and
grind
respectful.
every
And
day.
I can compare
That's
that
what
to-
people
like,
said.
If an artist comes up to me today, like, what do? I would like hold Roy to be like, he's an example. Just grind and grind and
Grind.
Fucking
That's what
shit.
And
people
build your
did.
empire, like in between. Like everyone has to.
He
do
was
something
making
on the
art
side to
every
pay
day
your bills.
before he
But
popped
yeah,
off.
Exactly.
He was making art for years by himself,
Dedicating
dedicated
your
people.
time to one idea for long enough will
And-
make
and
something
you
come
know
to
what?
fruition.
It finally popped off. There's
will.
going to be a moment where you break through. You
Yeah,
break
it
through
will.
the noise, and it's going to you moment. You know,
It's
and you
now.
got to seize
It's
every
fucking
opportunity.
now.
I think.
It's popping off in the streets already, bro.
Shit.
They just did tonight. Jesus Christ.
You know,
But-
like
No, I'm with you on
sell
that.
out, ride that gravy
Cheers.
train. You know what I'm
to
saying? Like, collaborate with your people.
Yeah.
Find your people and work with them.
And
That-
there's enough.
That's
to eat
exactly
out
that's the
here.
spirit of the
Yeah.
collective.
That's the whole
There's
point of these
plenty-
shows
That's the
and
spirit
these
of the
art trails
collective.
is to meet other people that are like-minded and stuff. And that's a whole other thing too with like cancel culture and shit is we have to relearn how to talk to each other and forget all this bias shit and like just look. You
Yeah.
can respect your
Yeah.
neighbor.
we
without
gotta
having to
gotta
impose on them.
That
change.
shit's
We gotta
gay.
change
Yeah.
the system how we deal with
Yeah.
That
people.
shit's fucking gay,
It's
dog.
stupid, and now we're starting to recoup that, and we're starting to get that back and stuff. And we can't lose it again. We can't lose sight of that. Like
don't
it's
think
that
we-
whole.
Here,
like,
let me say this.
I wouldn't put his art up because that dude voted for that guy 4 years ago, and you're just like,
Yeah, fuck all
why
that.
you're gonna judge?
Fuck all that.
Remember? Okay, here's my big. This is when I lost complete hope. In
That's
society.
why I
When
say
heard people
don't
weren't
be
going to
political. I
Thanksgiving
preach that.
to
I
see their
preach that all the
families
time.
because their dad voted for Trump, and they were like, "Well, I'm not going to go to Thanksgiving because my dad voted for
Fucking
Trump." And
Fuck
I'm just
all
like,
that.
You're literally like, that's the whole point of freedom and like free speech and shit is to be able to live with those ideas and those
Isn't
thoughts.
that the whole point
And-
of art?
And I'm just like, oh, you're gonna cancel people for that? That's
Dumb.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
Nazi shit. That's fucking like communism.
Yeah.
Like,
It
yeah,
is
fuck
communist
that.
shit.
Yeah.
You know,
And now we're recouping that in society. We're having this harsh
Here's-
turn right now. Just like that writer strike that's going on is like all this shit. And it's like, well, yeah, you guys were forced
Chase.
to write woke trash for 5 years. No one watched your shit.
Chase, let me
no
say
wonder
this.
you hit the fucking guillotine. Like,
let me say this. You know, we need to
Shout out to
switch our
Napoleon.
system of how we're dealing with people from a punitive system where, you know what, you're marked forever to a redemption system or a system where you're like, you know what, yeah, you fucked up. We know you fucked up, but you know what? You're
Fuck
making
that system.
strides.
Fuck that.
You're making strides to be a better person. Great. You're not doing something.
Depends on what they did.
Yeah, it depends on what they
You're
did.
talking
Child
about
rapist, you're
like
done.
the Chinese credit system for like your
Yeah.
social security things.
Well, I
That's
don't know
horrible.
about
Don't do
social
that.
credit system. I'm
But-
talking about socially with dealing with each other, like how we deal with each other. Rather than saying
But-
like you did that bad thing, you are a piece of shit forever.
Okay, but
Fuck that.
I was a shithead 5 years ago.
Forgive your
Like,
neighbor.
I
Love your
wouldn't
neighbor.
I wouldn't hang out with myself from 10 years ago, but
Hell
like
no.
people
No,
change and all
my,
that stuff.
my 10 years ago, fuck that.
But it's that people evolve and people change. And
Dude, even a year ago, I
you
would-
got to keep
would
true
not.
to yourself, and real recognizes real, and true recognizes true.
Yeah.
And those people are thoroughbreds and through. And people like us, I feel like carry responsibility to share other people. Like you can be yourself and still not care what other people think, and still take care of yourself and everything.
Yeah.
yeah. And
I-
people were scared to be a fucking man the last couple of years. Like
I'm
that.
with you on that, and I think it's changing.
Yeah,
I think it is.
That harsh turn's coming around, and people realize how silly you used to say what can be considered conspiracy theory 3 years ago is now proven fact. And yet,
Yeah.
you people still think you're crazy, and you're like, dude, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention the thing that we went through back in
certain
2020.
injectable-
if you
just
say it on
because-
podcast, YouTube will dox your ass.
Brother.
Yeah,
So
I'm
don't-
not gonna
don't.
say it.
Bleep it. Bleep
Brother.
it. You gotta wait the first
I-
They
45
did.
minutes
They
to say
did
it.
like
I-
remove funding
I have,
from a certain thing, from a certain
I've gotten
building that
fired
they
up
were
about
funding
that.
Yeah,
for something.
yeah. If you
That's
mention
just a wink and
I don't want
nod,
to mention them
just,
now, but we're so
hey,
far in the episode, it doesn't
may-
matter. But
may
if you mention
happen, may
those
not
hot
happen.
words, your shit will get
Brother,
doxed for views.
I will
It
go
Yeah, I'm
to-
not gonna say
I
shit.
will
It
go to
sucks.
war for that shit because it's scary as
It
a
was
creator.
too.
Yeah.
It's scary as a
wild.
creator. It should be scary as
It
an
was
artist.
so
I think.
racist
Yeah.
to say
Yeah.
that Wuhan was like
Dave
was the
thinking-
meat market. It was racist to say that
No,
they're just like
the Wuhan
flagrantly
flu.
dealing with wild animals and
We have a
shit.
bioweapons lab.
It was so
They
dumb.
leaked that shit
It's a
on
modern
purpose.
city like Chicago.
Or veterans of a fucking biological war people.
Yep.
But
Shit.
uh,
And we just
I,
acted
uh,
like they're just like handling meat like savages.
that's why I never understood like these
That's
things we're talking
stupid.
about with the artists.
That was racist.
Being that
Shit.
way. I'm like, you're an artist, brother.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There's a
You
fine
know?
line in art, you know.
You're supposed to have an understanding of both sides
Aren't
and be
you
dignified.
supposed to
and
push
stuff
the
like
you're,
that.
limits
you're supposed
too,
to be.
though?
You're
Remember
supposed
when
to
it
be
was
a friend.
people were like, "Oh, you're punk rock if you agree with everything the media tells you." I'm like, "Get fucked, dude! Like
Yeah.
that has nothing.
not.
Oh, what your Facebook, Twitter, and everything tells you, you're the true rebellion. Doubt that, fool."
Yeah. Thank you for
Yep.
saying this.
So
Yep.
an artist,
I've been trying to say this for the last 4 years.
an artist is a friend to the jester and the king.
in that time, Roy,
Okay.
you being the type of person you are, did you feel like watching that world around you go? You felt crazy. You were like, for surely I'm not the only one around me that thinks that this is bullshit. And it made you feel isolated and alone. And you're like, where do I go? Where do I talk? Where do I keep this, like, my brain juices flowing when everything around me is monitored and it could trigger or offend? And, like, that's not America. That's not freedom.
I'll tell you when it hurt my
No.
feelings. I'll tell you because I was having these conversations with family members that I love dearly about YouTube doing what they do.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys understand, like, that's my world. I'm trying to make a living being a YouTube creator. I'm trying to provide
Yeah.
jobs for people being a YouTube creator, and they are silencing. If I said the COVID was created in a lab, they
bleep
would
that
take
out.
they would take your YouTube channel away. That's fact. And I was like, do you not understand the danger in that? Like, or if like
Censoring speech
you know,
like
if,
that.
if
That's
Rattlesnake
wild.
Roy was big enough to interview RFK Jr., which he would like to do, he would get his channel strike. Like, what the fuck is that? That's when it was like, this sucks. Because
Do you think RFK is going to run?
Yeah, he's gonna. He's,
Are you
he's
gonna-
not. He's not gonna. I would vote for him.
Yeah,
But he's not gonna be president.
I think he's a shill, bro.
I think
Yeah,
so
some people
too.
do.
I'm on the same boat.
But-
I'm in the same boat as you.
He's the
man.
coolest, trendiest shill I've seen in a while.
But-
I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's
dope,
just
but
a whole
But
bunch
that
of
was like the
nothing.
whole thing. It was,
Yeah.
that was. You know, it's weird. It was actually recently when I felt this way.
yeah.
Not during all the mud and the blood, all that.
Yeah.
Nah, I was just doing my thing. Maybe because I was young and trying to make a name. But now I'm like, dude.
Politically, I think
Yeah.
we need a
Shit.
radical change in this country.
I
Me
think
too.
about it a lot too. I make controversial art and like not really political, but very
Yeah.
like religious themed or politically themed. It's very extreme art, and that's again like why I never had a foot in the Lubbock art community for so long. Was I never had anybody there like minded that would understand. I would show my art to people and they'd be like, "What the fuck?" Like, "Oh, that's cool. Where the hell am I gonna put it?" And I'm just like, why are you thinking about that? Like, I should just be able to have a platform to expose for or all that. And yeah, it's that
I mean, like for me, like 806 Collective, like the main reason we brought you on is just like, I wanted to give you a space.
So
like,
it's people pushing those extremes.
We were
and
talking
scenes
about that for
that set the
months,
next
long
wave.
before that
It's those
happened.
people that push back against what was already there that'll set the next rules going forward. And that's, hey, just like in society,
I don't have to
with our
have an
community.
opinion about your art, but the thing, it's not even about that. It's like, I want you to be in a space of growth and you to figure it out. You're like cooking right now and you're figuring out, you're finding your voice in your art. And I think that's more important than
the only reason though I'm
the
cooking is because
content.
I finally found a kitchen that I could fucking cook in after years and years and years of just sitting on the shit and not feeling right. And that's why I'm eternally grateful for it, because I've never had that opportunity sprung on me, and I have had previous offers and nothing felt right, because I feel like I could join something and I would have no one on my side or on
like
my
no
back.
judgment.
And I was given the whole free reign kind of thing. Like, this is your playground. Fuck it up. Make something crazy. And that's what we're doing. We're pushing. We don't know where the edge is either. We have never gotten any pushback, but we're going to keep pushing and pushing until we find that edge.
Yeah.
And we're going to cordially be polite about it.
I'm
and try
like,
to see where it goes. But yeah.
My only thing, and I've been preaching this lately, is, it's one thing to make political speech. It's another thing to make public commentary. Like, there's no reason to make political speech. And honestly, like, political philosophy is just the lowest common denominator. It's the stupidest shit in the world. But it's the world we live in. And, there's so much of our life that is just, like, being a woman is political. Labor is political. Your ethnicity is political. There's so many aspects of our lives where we deal with the might makes right. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you have. There can be a space where you don't have to play in that field, but you can talk about our society and how fucked up that is.
You would only talk about it though, like from a pure stance if you felt comfortable
I don't want
doing it.
Yeah.
Instead of being.
There's no reason to take a side.
Like
Yeah. Because here it is. There's a viciousness right now.
Political speech influences public commentary. They're both intertwined. And it's a relationship.
That's true
and
too.
It's finding that balance. Just like
There's
I
just
don't
a
care
viciousness
who
about it.
you voted for 4 years ago. I want you to watch both news broadcasters. Don't isolate yourself to one channel of information.
I'm with you on that.
It's
you
us
have to
against
open
them.
yourself to all gates, and then that's where your true opinion
And our
comes
government
from.
made it that way.
It's
us against them, and our government made it that way. It's literally two hats on the same demon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A blue hat and a red hat. And
Luckily-
they put
And a
us
puppet
against
thing.
each other.
Yeah.
Luckily, I've had some pretty
Corrupt
reasonable people in my
motherfuckers.
life, and that's what
Tore it from the floor
he told
up.
me. Some guy whose name I won't. Some guy I trust and love.
You can just buy
And
out
he was
a
like,
chief justice now.
Sucks.
Come on now.
But he was like, he's trying to understand what I'm doing, and he was like, all I can tell you is don't choose a side.
Cocaine
And
in the
I've
White
learned that,
House
like, they want us to choose sides
on the
They
4th
want-
of
they wanna-
July.
They really want
Yeah.
us to choose a
Yeah.
side, and it's like,
If you stay amoebic,
I'm not on either side,
I'm
brother.
on either side.
I've sort of like a lot of people have said, "You're Republican." No, I'm not. I'm not
Build
on either
your
fucking
own
side.
lane. Build
I'm
your
not
own
on
lane.
fucking either side. But I do think. Well, actually, I'm not gonna get in that. But I would never pick a side. Like we're
I
all
think they're
fucking
just
human
wasting
beings.
time because they're on the take. They're on the tit, and they know it. They just need to get to that next election. And so because they're on the tit, they're gonna milk it for much as worth. That's why they want us talking about. They want us talking about pronouns. They want us talking about women's rights. They want us talking about abortion. All the things that are hot topics. They want us versus them.
It is,
And it's the same hat of the same corrupt demon. I believe it. I see it. When Congress is doing insider trading, when all three branches of government, when you can buy a chief justice, and when you can be corrupt in the White House, it doesn't matter if you're Trump or Biden. They found cocaine in the White House, and just somehow somehow it's like it'll never be solved.
Can I say this?
The case will never be solved.
Can I say this?
On the 4th of July, give me a break.
I think Donald Trump proved that American politics was a business and a joke.
Yeah,
and you
it's
know what?
just a big grift.
I can't hate him
Fuck
for
'em.
being successful at being a businessman and being a face. That's why he won
Yeah.
it. If any country actually genuinely cared about itself, they wouldn't have allowed that. they literally proved to us that everything is a fucking joke by allowing that to
The
happen.
greatest American to ever live, brother. Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I don't know
can't-
about that.
He's so fucking successful. He saw the system was
a-
rigged,
he's a
and he
fucking
knew.
con artist,
no,
brother.
Yeah, the greatest con artist to
That's
ever
the
live.
best game for him to play is fucking politics.
He
and
played
guess
the
what?
game.
He's
Won.
good at it.
Yeah, if you think
It's
That's why he's
Obama's
gonna win
fault,
again.
too.
you think
He
if a
should have never
country,
insulted
if
him.
a country genuinely the greatest superpower in the world would allow that to happen, if we're trying to cradle every single issue globally, we would allow that. That makes us a laughing stock for the entire
Obama
podium.
humiliated him at that correspondence dinner, and then Trump
Yeah.
turned around and,
And
said,
again,
"Trump
what?
turned around and said, all right, well, you
He
want me to
wanted
play your
revenge.
stupid
he got an
game?
enemy. Humans do great when they have an
You
enemy.
know,
and
you
he
want me to
was
play
like,
your
"Fuck
game,
that,
and I'm not part of
revenge."
your clique? Guess what? I'm gonna build my own. I'm gonna build my own chair,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna build my own table. That's what he did.
So
You poked the bear, you know, and
do you
fuck him, right?
do you
I mean,
think-
he wasn't. Who cares about him being morally?
okay,
He may have been morally dubious, but you know what?
do you think
Anybody that sits there and says like you will never be president in a correspondence dinner where you are surrounded by your peers, you're a billionaire, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna play the game. Fuck them.
Do you think our system is fixable, or do you think we have to do a harsh reset?
I think we need to get the people out of power. We need to set term limits.
They will never give
Bottom
that power
up.
up. They will never,
And
give
they won't give
and
power
every
up.
single media manipulation.
They're
they
gonna
have.
let us. They're gonna
Yeah.
let us burn. They're gonna be old and decrepit. It's gonna be. I hate saying this, and I'm probably gonna get blasted for this.
Oh God,
But Ruth, RGB, she had an opportunity in 2017 to retire, and she held on to power. She held on to power until she died, and you know what replaced her? Exactly what she wanted: a conservative woman. You know, and it's just like we deserve the fuck the Democrats, but we deserve what we get. We deserve what we get.
You're
think so,
You're picking a side though on that.
I'm not picking a side. I'm thinking. Freaking the peanut farmer stripped our manufacturing from our country, and that was the end of it. Now it's all service-based industry.
Why did we allow that
You
to
know?
happen? If we
Shit,
cared about
I don't
ourselves?
know. I don't know.
If we want to take care of our own people,
I think it was a
We don't
mistake.
take care of them.
that's
I
the
think it
thing.
was a
We wanted
mistake.
guys like we do, but we don't.
These people don't.
You
give a
know,
fuck
he
about
should have
us.
stayed a peanut farmer.
Exactly, and that's not American.
I think that's what we're coming
That
to.
is
Yeah.
a
We're
hard
coming to
take.
this-
People are not
We're
going
coming
like
to
that.
this thing like you're saying.
Yeah.
Is it? Do we fix what we have, or do we completely revise
Yes.
the Constitution? And I don't know what people.
I don't know. I don't think an
And
amendment's going to fix this. And,
And
at the
how
same
do you
time,
think this politics is going to
medieval
play in the
system,
future with our technology and everything changing?
I think AI.
We need decisions made now.
I was
You
pretty
know,
sold
not
on.
in a committee. We need some unilateral decision making. You know, and
But how do we do
it's
that
always,
with pure democracy
It's
and
always
still not be
the
manipulated?
proletariat against the state, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we need the state to make unilateral decisions, and they're not going to, and they're wasting their time with UFO bullshit, with UFO hearings, and literally fighting amongst each other rather than passing clear legislation. You know, here's the thing with this global warming thing, and I did the math.
fake.
And if we were going to engineer our way out of it with carbon capture technology, we would have to have a carbon capture facility coming online every 8 minutes for like the next decade.
So
You know, in order to make up the difference.
what? I think
You know?
both of them
And-
are
and,
happening.
like,
I think we
it's
are changing
not
the
gonna happen.
environment, but the Earth is
It's not
going
gonna
through a
happen. We're
cycle
dragging
and
our
it heats
feet.
up and cools
I think
down.
climate change. Obviously, it's happening, but I
Yeah.
think it's a lot like
Yeah.
aliens. It's another.
They're
use.
going to let our
It's another-
oceans
it's
boil
another-
before
we already
they,
have weather
They're
manipulation.
going to let our
I
oceans
just think
boil
it's
before
another.
they look out
It's
for
another
us.
tool for control, like
It is.
aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like aliens and like
Our
COVID.
government is
It
going
just-
to let our oceans boil before they do anything.
I think they can manipulate weather, and if they don't like your country, they'll give you a bunch of shitty weather to manipulate your wheat stocks, and you won't have very many trade, and they'll bankrupt you from the outside, and
Yeah.
all those little things too. But like, I think we do affect the environment, obviously, but also
Yeah.
I think the planet's gonna fucking heat up with its cycles, anyways. We're going
Yeah.
into another ice age. It doesn't start getting cold till it gets the hottest, and then we go right back. It's that humans been here multiple times before. I think civilization goes back hundreds of thousands of years.
I think in the
and we've
next
just
5
had these
years, we're going to
resets.
go through some crazy shit in the next 5
That's
years.
why that
and I think
climate
we
change
need
doesn't scare
to
me
move
anymore.
north.
I think it's all bullshit.
That's what my twin was saying. He moved to San Francisco for a reason, because, you know, he was working with like the leading climatologist. There was a PBS special about it. What was her name? Global Weirding was the name of the podcast. He was working directly with her, and she said flat out that we are fucked. That it's gonna come.
Weren't they saying this in the 70s and the 80s
Yeah.
and the 90s?
And he decided, you know what, I'm going to move to San Francisco where it's consistent weather year round. And he told me flat out, he was like, Dave, get done with college and move up north and don't look back.
That won't happen when the pole shifts because you don't know where you're going to be fucked or you're going to be safe.
But
And
I don't know. I really
everything's
love
gonna be
Lubbock,
fucked.
so I don't know about that.
Everything's going to be fucked when the polls
Yeah,
shift.
that's what I'm saying. We'll go through like 10 years of like mass like starvation,
That's hell.
famine.
Yeah.
Hell on earth.
Yeah, but hey,
Feast
humans
or
have started
famine, let's
over.
do
So
it.
that's why we have all these ancient ruins. We don't even know what they do or how they do it. I think humans have
Yeah.
been here for a lot longer, and we've had these harsh resets that come in these
I
huge
think
cycles.
we've gone through this level, maybe not this level of technology, but we've gone through cycles of deep knowledge, of learning about deep knowledge about our universe and our reality, and then we lose it to calamity.
Yeah.
I think it's happened
supposed
over and over again. You know,
The
It's
forgotten,
maybe we were bred to mine gold. Who knows?
The
Who knows?
Anunnaki.
Anunnaki.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
who
think
knows?
God's winding up. He's ready to throw a fucking stone
Yeah.
at this fucking planet. But
We
who
got
knows
it
how
too
long-
good,
But
you
who
know?
knows how? Yeah, it's been the best it's ever been.
It's the best it's ever been. The most literate, like people talk about how awful the world is. You know, there's so much good in the world too. The most literate we've ever been.
People get the most we've ever been fed.
The most we've ever been fed.
Information,
Yes.
medicine, technology.
Medicine, technology.
Granted, some of that shit's bad, probably, but
Hey, the cobalt mining, we're all sinners in that. You know?
everybody else got an EV. Or
Hey, everybody's got their phone that has like minerals that were mined by child slaves.
Yeah.
Everybody. It's all in the lithium. It's all,
Everyone
the
is
cobalt.
a
It's
hypocrite,
all in
no
it.
matter what. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we'll be more
Isn't
honest.
that- Yeah.
No one is Jesus. No one is perfect. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The vegans need to cut it out.
Vegans are like, oh, I don't eat meat, but
I
I'll
don't
put
eat
whatever
meat
drug up
'cause
my
I'm a
nose. And I'm
saint.
like, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't eat meat because I'm precious.
Oh, I only like.
Because my dad told me
Yeah.
I was special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this makes me think is we got to think about now. We got to think about Lubbock, our community, and I think we're doing a good job of that. We're building it.
Yeah.
We're making it great.
Great community.
If you got that famine mentality, all I gotta say is, no, I'm just kidding. Change your mind, people. We're all in it together.
Hey,
We're all in it.
you'll know your true friends when they look at you when you're winning. You know, it's like you'll see them how they treat you after success. You know, you'll see like, oh, well, you weren't actually rooting for me.
I want to win, but I want you guys to win too. So let's all get on
I
board.
want you to win too.
Let's get on board. Let's do this. Let's,
Yeah,
let's
your
do
success is my success.
This. Exactly.
Be a good person.
Yeah.
Do good business. Karma is fucking real. Karma is
Let's
real.
do this before the planet destroys us. Guys, thank you so much for doing this.
Best. We got it here. Make our own success.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys for doing this. This was
Oh,
very
yeah.
fun.
Thank you, Roy.
I'm going to try to keep as much as I can in this podcast. You guys got anything else to say before we end this? Dave?
Shout out all the artists in the collective. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody, like for real, and everyone in the scene, like Raw Inside, everyone
Dude,
First
we've
Friday,
been
everyone
killing
that
it
comes
lately.
through, like
Jesus
for real.
You guys
Christ.
have. You guys
Y'all
really
keep
have.
it alive.
Oh my
keep
God.
coming. I'll keep coming to y'all.
We've been
shit.
busting
There's
our
so much
asses
going on.
lately.
It's hard to keep up, but we love it. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
shout
Like,
out to all the
shout out to
collective.
all of y'all.
The
For
collective
real.
members. Damn. They show up.
For real, though, shout out to you
Yeah.
guys so much. Thank you.
Shout out to
Yeah.
you, Roy. For
Shout
real.
out to you, Roy.
Artist,
Thank you.
artist. Like, appreciate what you do. Don't
I
let
am-
it die. And like, you are a genuine person.
Thank
and
you. I'm trying to
hard
be.
to see these days, man.
I'm
I
trying to
appreciate
be,
it.
and I really appreciate you guys in all this collaboration that we're doing together. We're going to continue doing it for many years.
Yeah.
Love you guys, actually. So thank
Yeah,
you.
love you too,
Movie.
man.
And you got anything, Dave?
Nothing. You know, like watch. Hey, shameless self promotion. Go watch the video on my on my Instagram, DRC Art. You know, follow Dirty South over here, spelt with a V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can
Follow
they,
Dirty South.
where can they buy your art at?
Oh,
Both of you.
oh yeah. Like me and my brother scrambled to build the shop, but he's hosting me on 480productions.com. I have art for sale on there. You can choose various sizes from a 9x12 to a 28x44 poster size, and it is pre-framed, framed and ready to go, shipped to your house. And there's going to be more things coming. There's also a zine on there, Lubbock Series 1. It's photography from 2017 to 2019.
Pretty cool.
So if you're an old head, it's got some OG members of the scene on there.
Great
There's
book. Great
Skinny
book.
Josh.
It is a great
The
book.
quality
Every
of that
time-
thing
the
is insane.
Yes. The cover, the full cover to cover photography around the front, perfect. There's another one coming out soon. So me and my brother are collaborating on another one, and there's a potential third series too, but check that out. That's on the horizon. And of course there's gonna be UFO merch. I just gotta
I
make
can't wait for that one.
I'm gonna ride that gravy train
Please
until
make some of
it's
those. I want some of
dry.
that.
I don't
Space
give a
weed.
fuck. Space weed.
Space weed.
We're gonna ride that. It's like
Chase?
Dogecoin. We're gonna to the moon.
Where can they? Do you got a website?
I'm gonna milk that until it's dry.
I'm gonna get a
I don't
website
give a
together.
fuck.
I do have like a GoDaddy handle. It's like brooksandDungeons.net
Yeah.
or something. But I will
pretty
get a
cool.
shop. If not, just come see me at First Friday Art Trail. I do my
Yeah,
shit really
always
organic,
come out the
but,
first Friday.
I've got some really
August 4th,
stickers.
August 5th.
Yeah. You get it.
I don't know. It's
For
next week, isn't
The
it?
first Friday is the 4th.
It's happening.
Movie is the 8th, y'all. August 8th, 28 days later.
Are
Come
we
through
gonna
Lords of
do?
Film.
We're not gonna. We don't have anything planned for after First Friday. I think it's just gonna
Dude,
regular standard
good.
First Friday.
We're booked.
We are so
Keep my sanity.
booked.
I'm old.
Oh my
I've got
God.
a family and a full-time job. Good.
We even having a super secret show coming up.
Sweet. Jen,
Follow me at HelloSoft. Follow me at Texas Chainsaw Alchemist. Can't book me for July anymore. Can't book me for half of August, but I'm open in September. And you can follow Lords of Film with a Z.
Lords of
You
Film.
Hit me up. We're going to be doing a lot of movie nights. We're just getting started. Quite literally just getting started, but shit's going to be fun.
we're starting to get into talks with some people who make good merch, so maybe we can get some Lords of Film merch in the future.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
potentially. There's potentially going to be
I've been
806
in talks with some
collective
good people making
bumper
shit for me.
stickers too.
So
806
We'll-
collective bumper stickers
we'll have to
coming
make-
I
soon.
need to make something since we just hit 500
Yeah,
followers. I need to do like a giveaway. I
Yes.
feel like I need to make like that, like a limited edition camera.
Hey, if y'all guys,
speaking of
we can
giveaways,
talk afterwards, but if y'all guys do T-shirts, we can work something out. We can do a little back scratching.
The Earth isn't flat. It's a cube.
Yeah,
speaking of
we
giveaways,
can do a little back scratching.
if you subscribe to the Patreon, you might get a enter. You will enter in a chance to win the Snake Pit Live poster that I now have. Other than that, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Shout out to everybody.
Space weed.
Yeah, space weed.